you woke up like right technically when you rested, like like when you met the mechanical requirement, like you're refreshed, and you're just wide
Hmm.
awake, and there's something different, your patron has imbued you with some power and like awesome. Now you never need to sleep again. So that's pretty impressive. So you decide to go stretch your legs and water a tree. So you head outside and oh, Josh is texting. Uh, and you're outside and you notice uh, you see Kaino coming up the road a little bit, and you see him like kind of like rolling into bushes and like hiding for like a few seconds and then like go into the next bush, but it's really obvious and like he's kicking up like clouds of dust and shit. But he does it the whole way, because that's amusing. And yeah, so you see him. He hasn't noticed you. He has no idea you're there. Do you indicate that you see him or anything like that?
Um, can I try and follow him stealthily?
Sure. I'm gonna give you get a normal stealth roll. He gets advantage to detect you because he's like all edgy. He's on his guard. So kind of you get to do a advantage perception roll.
Did you say perception? I think I'm lagging a little bit.
Okay.
What did you say though?
Perception
He
roll?
said percept.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So Zelenor is just casually walking behind Kaino, who has no idea he's behind him. So yeah, so Kaino, what do you do?
Kind of starts walking off in the direction of. This is like at the middle of the night.
Yeah,
I
we're
still have
gonna.
health at this point,
Oh, okay. I was thinking more for when you come
right? Don't
back.
I? Or
This
is
is for
this
when you come
after?
back.
Oh, this is me coming back. This is me
Yeah,
coming back.
yeah,
I see.
yeah. Which
Okay,
might
yeah. So
also
Kaino is like
explain.
sunken in
Yeah.
eyes. Yeah, Kaino's like sunken in eyes. He's like staggering quite a bit, and he just like looks pale as hell. And he's like his lips are a little blue, and he just like starts stumbling back towards the inn, and is going to try and make his way to the room without causing too much of a ruckus
All right. I mean,
and
no,
sleep for an hour.
there's no one else as you go through. Make your way to the room. There's no one really in here who's like they don't care. They
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Um,
Watch out for the third step. It's loose.
Uh, oh, oh, Zelenor. Oh, thanks, thanks. He trips on the third step,
hmm?
but he's gonna go try and take a short rest.
Okay. Oh, you can do that.
Try
It's
and
I mean
recover.
it's yeah, it's really early in the morning, so no one's preventing, gonna wake you up. So you can do that. You get a short rest.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Um
heal.
so while Kaino's taking a bit of a nap, you there, Mike?
Yeah,
Awesome. All right. Also, Josh should be on at some point. He's apparently on his way home. Asa won't make it, so we have one more showing up at some point.
gotcha. Cool.
All right. So Varen, you wake up in the morning. You head into the inn, uh, common room and stuff like that, and you see Zelenor. He's just hanging out. Uh, and as you get into the room, in fact, I'll move you guys over to that map. Yeah. As you guys get to the common room, uh, also kind of your short rest is now up, so you have also gone to. You're in there too. So these people are not here. So three of you are in the common
Grog.
room. It's the morning.
Okay.
What are you guys doing this morning?
Hmm. Well, kind of posting up at the normal table. and he looks better a little bit. And he's, I guess we would just wait, and then probably wait a little while to see if anyone else shows up. This is the day of our fight, isn't it?
No, you still have time for
That
that.
was the next day.
Yeah, you have a day or two.
I think it's
might
yeah.
just be
I
one.
think we got another day.
Yeah, I think you have one
Tomorrow.
more.
Yeah, is the fight.
Yeah.
As long as it has an advanced day in the last 20 minutes.
So you guys hang out for a good half hour, and you all knew that you should all be here by now, and so I mean, you guys aren't lifelong friends at this point. You've still figuring each other out. So okay, they're doing their own thing, and they had made it they made it pretty clear that they were going to be doing their own stuff. So maybe go ahead and get started without them if they hadn't shown up on time. So what do you three gentlemen want to do today?
Well, Varen would like to at least commune with the three that are present concerning, just have a group discussion, see plans, and start assessing our situation, really, because we haven't really had time to sit down and figure out what we're doing besides just aimlessly doing these battles in the arena for we don't know how long. We don't really have any plans or so that's what I want to do if you guys are down.
Run with
Well,
it.
we need to try and get some money. It doesn't seem to be too many opportunities to make much coin other than fighting this arena. But we're going to need to try and find a place to stay that isn't charging us per night.
Yeah, I can support myself with my loot here, but can't really do much for the group.
Well, you're not going to be getting out of here with the loot you make off tips from that.
You'd be surprised, but I don't want to leave my new comrades, behind either.
Well, I appreciate your kindness.
I do notice that there is a bit of a vice on the lower class around here. It kind of doesn't set well with me.
Yeah, I think this whole place is a little strange. We definitely have a lot to learn.
I think
We're going to have to find a way to get into that city.
And I think our buddy here, Dredge, may be a tool to be used for that purpose. See, I paid attention to him when he leaves the inn. I notice he heads into the city. And he is the only one who comes out, it appears, other than for events at the arena. Seems he may have more power and sway than our humble bartender likes to flaunt. But who knows? He may just know a way of ascending from the peasantry. Either way, he could have useful information.
Well, you could try questioning him.
I,
Maybe you could get some information out of him without him even knowing that you're doing it.
as much as I like him, I do not think he's very fond of me. I try to entertain his patrons, but he is a stubborn, well, from what I can see at least, a stern man. But I can try.
Zelenor knows ways to make men talk.
Yes, Selenor. I see you cleaned up since the battle. What say you? I haven't heard much, thought from you in this matter. He says less awkwardly than I said.
I have recently discovered I have no need for sleep like you mere mortals. But I will assist you in acquiring more comfortable place to rest. These wooden benches they don't do my back well.
Well, I can't say the same for me. I've been spending the night out in the woods, but it's only a matter of time before something happens out there that may lend to more permanent shelter. But that is not, well, that is a good matter to start with. But any I'm kind of
Seemed quite an
harassed.
investment to reside in a derelict hut. I'm not sure if that is what we'd like to do.
I'd like to get into that city as soon as possible. And I believe there are multiple ways of doing it. Some, he kind of looks off in the distance and smiles, more violent than others. But, he kind of looks like he's got an idea, but he doesn't want to share it with the group. And he kind of stops himself short.
Well, we've got 2 days until the fight, and I got nothing to be doing until then. So, if you've got an idea of something to do, we should at least give it here to the ear. Let us think on it.
Dredge
Well-
from the bar, he says over, so you fellas eating, or...
Kind of will order breakfast. I don't know if he even has any money. I think I have some money.
I think you guys paid in advance for, last night.
Well, either way, I will buy the cheapest thing that there is to eat.
That is, I believe, 2 copper.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So you get that. And he says, I heard about your fight the other night. Heard it went pretty well.
Oh, you just heard that? What did you hear exactly? He kind of looks a little bit over at Zelenor, a little bit nervous, a little bit kind of curious.
He's like, well, they said you did pretty well. Put on a pretty good show for first timers. So that's always a good thing. And they said you all lived, but I only see the 3 of yous. I guess that part was wrong. You didn't do so great, huh?
I do not know where our companions are, but they are their own men, and we are not their keepers.
Oh, they lived. Oh, well, okay, then I did hear right. All right, yeah. So you did pretty well. When you guys fight again, maybe I'll make it out there myself. See how you perform.
We perform on the morrow, actually. I do believe. Does Varen know the exact time?
We're gonna say that you do know the exact time, and we're gonna pretend that I didn't lose my D&D notebook.
Okay, and say it's like
it's
3
10.
o'clock.
It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
okay.
That's perfect.
Yes, Dredge. We're performing at 3 o'clock tomorrow.
Oh, well, no one's usually here then. Well, no one that Bolga and Fargad can't take care of anyways. He's like, I need to wake them up. Anyways, okay, well, yeah, I noticed, couldn't help overhearing, he like, kind of gestures around the room, and it's, like,
To like
completely
the empty-ass bar.
Right, and, like, you're the only people in it, and you never said anything, you weren't being, particularly quiet. So he says,
Varen shrugs and says naturally.
he says, so you want to make some coin, perhaps?
Not just a meager amount, either. I do notice that. I'm actually curious about your story, Dredge. How did you come to own this bar, this lovely establishment? He gestures to the dusty shelves and
Oh, that's easy.
glasses and wiping the last.
I washed
few
up
days.
here. I was, I don't know, it must have been about 7, maybe 8. I was on a ship. I was just one of the deck boys, and they we got lost and we smashed up, and well, pretty much everyone was dead. Couple crew survived. Different part of the island where they landed, I guess. They're dead now, but yeah, I was lucky. I was clinging on to a barrel, and when it washed up on shore, realized it was filled with gold and platinum.
Insight check? Can I
Yeah,
is he
you can do
telling the
that.
truth?
You can do an insight check. You believe him.
He seems to be
He-
speaking
he-
true.
He seems genuine.
Okay.
He says,
What,
and,
what
yeah, I
kind
just,
of what kind of ship were you on that you had a barrel full of platinum
well,
floating about in your cargo?
Oh, it was a smuggling ship. So I had no
Oh.
idea what was on it, but could have been anything. Clearly, there was at least some gold and platinum, right?
Well,
So he
it
says,
seems
so,
that fortune smiles upon you.
indeed. So, how would you like to have some fortune smile upon you?
I kind of gestured to my friends. Well, depends on the work.
Well, so we have a special ingredient for our ale. It's well, anyways, I need you to go collect some of this plant for me. I'd do it myself, but the problem is the things that want to kill you.
Whereabout
Do
can
we
we find
need it?
these herbs?
And do we need a permit for them?
Well, see, here's the thing. It's normally really, we're not supposed to get it. I don't know why. They have rules, right? So you follow the rules. But it's the secret ingredient, so I gotta get it. So it's kind of a don't ask, don't tell kind of job.
I missed what you just said. Sorry about that, John. Could you repeat yourself?
Yeah, is oh yeah. So it's technically not legal. So this is kind of a don't ask, don't tell kind of job.
Like when I murdered those parents.
Dredge just kind of raises an eyebrow at Zelenor. It's like, yeah, I mean, all right, if that's whatever. Just Lily, as Lily backs away. um, he says, well, here's the thing. Okay, so the pay's not amazing, but I can offer you in trade rooms here free of charge. What do you say?
How many nights?
We'll say I'll give you a month. I'll give you a month, and then maybe if the work is agreeable, maybe in a month's time, I might need some more. You might do it again, and we can have an arrangement.
How many rooms?
Let me see. I'm gonna check the rooms, and I'll tell you. He says, "Well, no one stays here anyways." He says, "I'll give you 2 rooms. There's 3 beds a room, so that's space for all of you. Little closet space. They each got a window. And top it off, I'll give you the only keys to the door."
Kind of looks around at the other two, and he gives a little nod, like he thinks we should do it. Solves 2 problems. We got days ahead of us, nothing to do. We need a place to sleep.
Zelenor finds this arrangement pleasing.
You guys notice that Kaino has no alcohol in front of him?
Baron, only knowing him for like 3 days, knows that this is all wrong.
Yeah.
What madness is this?
He knows something's up. He's going to do an insight check. No, I'm just kidding.
You notice that he looks a lot more like actualized. He doesn't look all stressed out like he used to.
Okay. That'll be
Looks
something
like
to touch
you've
on
pulled yourself
Hair's
together
also blue.
after last night.
Yeah. We should you can ask me about it later. We should finish this conversation with he looks at Dredge.
Dredge is just staring at you guys like,
Should
that's a yes, right? So,
I'm not the
Eleanor
leader of the party,
agrees.
but it seems like we all agree.
all right, great. So you're gonna head out of town here. Let's see. All right, hold on. He's like, he ruffles around and he pulls out a rough sketch of the city, and he says, "All right, here's what you're gonna do. You get the." It says so. Head kind of northeast out of town. Stay along the edge of the forest there. All right. When you reach the last hut, he said you're gonna see a small group of them. When you reach the last one, head straight into the trees, straight north. You're gonna go for I don't know, a few miles, and he has a picture of the plant, and it looks like. That should give you an image. If not, oh well.
Oh, I
Looks
see
like,
it's Phallus Titanum.
Oh, all right. That's weird. Here, let's try.
No, it worked.
Okay, good. He says, "Yeah, I'm gonna need. I'd say, bring me 10 of those." But he says they're pretty easy. All you do is just go up and chop the bottom of the stalk off and just bring me the big kind of bulb portion. That's all I need. Keep them upright for the most part, but they're pretty tough. They can take a beating, so you just shove them in your packs and don't worry about them.
10 of them.
Yeah,
Got it.
10.
You said it was slightly dangerous. What are we going to encounter out there?
Well, there's been some. I had an arrangement before, and they didn't come back. And well, I've been told there's different types of water creatures. These things like to grow around water. Oh, right. So, like I said, you'll go for a few miles north, and then you'll hit a building. I forgot to mention this. So you just head down into there, and they grow in there. And yeah, that's where you want to be.
Insight check, because I think he's not telling me everything, and he has more information than he's divulging. Can I do that?
You can definitely, and anyone else can if they'd like.
17.
All right, Baron, you get the sense that he isn't lying to you, but he's definitely not telling you everything.
Yeah, he's omitting
Mm-hmm.
something. Now this has gone. Oh, anybody else doing a check? Oh, sorry, I saw the
No.
T-Rex. It's like, so this has gone from just in the middle of nowhere to inside a building that somebody has
I
possibly
forgot
died
it's
in.
been a while since I've had this done, so it's having to dredge up this old
I don't
memory.
think you're being completely honest with me, Dredge. And
Who's ever
I think
completely honest?
I think if we're to be partners in this as a group, and I gesture to pretty much everybody in the bar, considering there's only like us three, like 4 and maybe I forget what her name is, but and it's like, but if we're to be partners in this, there should be some trust, right? If you
All right,
have more
all right.
information, we don't want to walk into something, so that we
Do-
can continue working for you.
Do a persuasion check. I'll give you advantage on that.
Okay.
Because he knows he's been caught, at least fudging stuff.
That is it. Okay.
You have
Okay.
advantage, so go ahead and roll again.
Oh, my bad. Should. Do.
All right. He says, all right, look. Everything I've told you is true. So I know about the thing. I don't tell people about it because you tell people, hey, there's a building in the middle of the forest, and occasionally people go down there and don't come back out. I mean, I need this for my business, so okay. Maybe it wasn't the nicest thing to do to you fellas, but I mean, you handled yourself pretty well, I hear. So, I mean, I'm sure whatever's down there can't be that bad. So, yeah.
Do you know what it is?
Oh, I have no idea.
You have no idea.
Anyway, this project was supposed to be don't ask, don't tell.
Oh, right. So, yeah, no one can know you're doing this, especially the guards. Look, if the guards catch you, I won't. I don't know anything. You know what I mean? It's one of those kind of jobs. I would never, in my life, recommend violence outside of the arena, but people do what they have to do. And I really need those flowers.
Just as a
So-
curiosity, you don't have to answer. But what do these herbs? What's the effect?
Yeah, trade secret, my boy.
Maybe perhaps another time.
Perhaps a what?
Perhaps another time.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. Well, pretty much all I.
You get the
Pretty much
hint.
gonna get it.
You get the impression when he says, "Yeah, maybe," that he really means like, "No, that's not happening."
I can be a very persuasive judge.
Yeah. So you guys want the job still, right?
Yes.
Varen looks a little. Oh, yeah.
I didn't mean to.
A little
mess with you guys.
nonplussed by this new situation, but
Mhm.
it does put us at an advantage. So he'll pretty much do whatever you guys do.
All right. It sounds like you guys are comfortable with it. I'm gonna speed us up. So, right? You guys all wanted to do that? That sounds.
Yeah, and we would just go do it probably,
Cool.
unless if
I mean, when don't you end up killing people? So
Yeah, fair enough, right? He also he offered you he did offer each of you 15 gold, in addition to the room and board.
Oh, then yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So there's
Then
go-
absolutely yes.
Yeah, there's gold, room and board, and connections to the underworld. It seems.
That's what we need.
So okay, so it's so we're gonna say it's still early. I mean, like I said, you guys were up crack of dawn, sunrise is early, so it's only about 7 a.m.
Okay.
So what are you guys gonna do?
Just one more question, Tridge. And this is just for us. When you sent those people and they disappeared, what time of day did you send them?
I mean, I just gave them an offer, and then they did it or didn't do it. And when they didn't do it, I don't know when they left or didn't come back. Or maybe they made it off the island, right, boys? And he's like,
perhaps.
he gets like, all
Perhaps
right,
they
all right.
did.
He's like, all right. Anyways, all right. And he gets back to he just turns around and gets back to work. And then he turns back. He goes, remember, if you get caught, I don't know you. And he goes back to work.
All right. We will see you later. Probably.
All right. Well, let's get going then.
Yep.
We have anything better to do?
Not until later in the night. Baron's got to
Alright.
play his shit. He's got a gig at the Skewered Spirit every night. No, I'm just kidding.
All right. So you guys start making your way, like he said. Why don't you all give me? Let's do stealth rolls.
Once we hit like the cabin and start going into the woods,
Hmm.
I'll give you a stealth roll.
This is getting up to the cabin.
Oh, up to the cabin. Okay.
Yeah, at the cabin, kind of would start. Oh, I have disadvantage.
And
Nice. So, Varen's doing very well. He's using the edge of the trees and stuff. Um, Kaino's just like clomping around. He's just making a lot of noise. It's heavy armor. It's
He doesn't know. He doesn't know we're stealthing.
right. He doesn't. No one told
He's
him.
just walking.
Zelnor, what's a what's one of your new cantrips that has a nice visible effect?
Sacred Flame.
All right. So every so often,
What?
Zelenor is, he's like, I have this new thing. So you just keep seeing like, what color is it? Is your sacred flame?
Black.
So you just see a black flame every so often appear like 20 feet, 30 feet above your guys' head as Zenor is testing it out. So, which is just odd during the middle of the day, a black flame floating in the air. So everyone knows what's happening. But no one stops you. You don't see any guards. In fact,
after like the third or fourth time that he does that, he's like, "Peasants are a superstitious bunch. You best watch what you do, or see what happens."
go ahead and
Kinda laughs.
make perception checks. Just regular.
Perception. Hey, I'm like proficient in. I think I have an expertise.
Ooh, nice.
I took College of Lore, so I am just like a check master, I think.
I'm like looking at all the peasants as I'm shooting these things in the sky, just like looking in their eyes.
He says as he gets a 7.
So Zelador, you notice that because of the way it's raised, you can see a few towers as you guys are walking along. You notice this whole stretch is actually fairly unobservable for the most part, because you only have towers here, and the next guard type tower isn't here. When I say tower, these are like archers' towers, so they're fairly
Okay.
yeah, they're the wall itself is 25 feet high. I don't think I ever told you guys that. So it's a 25-foot high wall, the whole length, and each of these towers is 25 feet above that, so 50 feet. Each of these little brown towers, and you can see them even the ones at the far end. You can see the tops of them, depending on where you're standing. This central thing can be seen no matter where you are. You guys never lose sight of that, or the towers around that.
It's like the Citadel.
So, so yeah, you guys make it all the way over to the last cabin, like he said, and no one's made any, no one's raised an alarm or anything like that. So, you guys go ahead and plunge into the woods.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I
And
think
then as we're
try
going
and
in,
keep out of sight of this tower to the southeast.
Okay. Kind of has navigator's tools.
Okay. So
He'll navigate if he can. Let's
We're
go
gonna-
north.
we're gonna say it's a clear sunny day. We're gonna say that basically means you guys don't have to worry about losing your direction outside of natural, just naturally, right? So
and then just to help
Mhm.
Varen, every, I don't know, 50 paces or so, we'll just just move a rock, break a stem, just to have like a path that he can recognize on the way back,
okay, fair enough.
so they
We
don't
can
get
do that.
lost.
So you guys do that. You guys kind of stare at Baron, and every so often he just like kicks a rock or a pine cone or something. And you head into the woods, and it's it's like a forest. It's not crazily densely packed. You're able to move fairly freely. The terrain is kind of rolling hills sort of thing. So you make your way through. And then you've gone for what do you think is probably about a mile and a half, 2 miles, and the forest starts to get thicker, and you start going through patches of dark. It's very little light is seeping through. The canopy's very dense, and then you guys break through and you see uh, a low squat building. I don't have an image, so we're gonna do theater of the mind here. It's a stone structure. Uh, it it looks half buried. You see a yawning entrance. It's massive. It's about width-wise, it must be 15 feet. But it's only about 4.5 feet tall from the appear from how you can tell it's been buried over the years, centuries, millennia. Um, there's a river that you can hear in the distance, and there's about 20 to 30 feet clearing. Uh, there's no trees or bushes. It's just grass. 30 feet all the way around the structure, and then immediately then you get into the super thick trees that you guys were in.
Do I notice any like heavy patrolled guard tracks around the building?
Go ahead so you're looking for tracks. So go ahead and you do survival. Um, you notice some like marks, but they just appear animal marks. You see what appear to be something like maybe deer. You also notice some kind of scrape drag marks, but you can't really figure out what those are for.
I see. If the gods come here, it's not one of their posts.
That's not what I'm worried about. Um. So, well, can I do a perception check to see these drag marks that he noticed? So
Yeah.
Aaron can notice
Yeah.
this as well.
You can do that.
It looks like you could drag a small child, possibly.
You don't notice anything.
Okay.
You just see ground, grass and dirt, and can't
Yeah.
quite make it out. Um,
Kaino looks at Zelnor and he says, "You should try and frame things in terms of like small animals that are not humanoids. It would just make you get along better with people." And he smiles kindly at you.
And Varen nods and it points at Kaino. Kind of
Zelenor
fervently.
understands.
So Zelenor, what is with the he's kind of beating around the bush. He doesn't know how to ask it, so he kind of blurts it out. He's like, the blood on the face during the arena. Just curious. He kind of has a little bit
Well,
ashed.
haven't you ever wanted to try something new?
Absolutely, I'd love to shag a Khajiit or something, but it's in a different lore, absolutely, and not in this world at all. Oh. No, I understand. I just it caught me off guard. As it were.
It just something just came over me. I get these thoughts sometimes. And perhaps they're urgings from my patron.
Just a little bit of metagame talk right now. You're a warlock, right?
Yes.
Okay.
he's a paladin.
All right. Absolutely. The chivalry was obvious. Yeah. So, Varen's like, patron, you say? He's honestly intrigued by this, and he kind of is like, we'll have to discuss this, and he kind of looks around the area in a better setting later, and starts to head towards the entrance to this maw, this yawning maw that you were speaking.
Is there a entrance to the building?
Are there any windows that you can look into?
There's
I don't
no
know, I mean,
windows. It's solid stone. Just that one entrance up at the front. It's 15 feet wide, but only about 4.5 feet tall. And that, like I said, is because you can tell that this has been, this entrance used to be much taller, but it's been buried, and as has much of the structure. In fact, you only see, it's kind of like it tapers off. You know, you have the front of the structure, which is square, and then the roof of it goes back until eventually it's just covered in dirt. So you're only seeing essentially some of the front entrance area.
well, shall we go in?
It's what we're here for.
Are there any of you who don't have night vision?
Kinda doesn't have night vision.
I
Kind of light a torch.
got a candle for him in case.
All right.
I'll light a candle for you any day.
All right. So let me move you guys around. Okay. So you guys get down. You shouldn't be able to see anything.
I see a black.
All right.
It's all black.
So let's see. We're gonna say you guys have, the rest of you have 60-foot dark vision, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right. I'm just gonna. So you guys should be able to see some stuff now.
Yes.
All right. So this is what you guys see. I have the. I only have the free crappy fog of war. So.
Yeah, it's okay. We can use our imagination. Okay. So
We're trying to find this plant.
Mm-hmm.
Why did we go inside this building again?
Because
because
he
that's
told
where
you.
he said it was.
This
Yeah.
in the building? Okay.
Yeah. He said it was in a building that was sunken in the ground,
Onward then.
which is
Kind of just starts walking casually forward. He's gonna.
Ah, fuck it. You can just.
Kaino's
see him.
eyes are already always like a swirling vortex of like gray. They're super weird. And right now he's gonna like snap his, or he doesn't snap his fingers, but he like gestures, and he's casting detect magic. But like the fog in his eyes parts, and suddenly it's just like blasts of thunder roiling around in his iris. And I'm casting detect magic. I'm just gonna
Alright.
feel around for magic.
So up to 30 feet. All right. So you sense here.
So I'm gonna like carefully walk around this room, get my 30-foot magic detection aura all over the place.
You notice it in just one spot, and it's right here in the center of this. This is actually it's a, ignore what it actually looks like. So it's those flowers you were looking for.
Oh shoot! 1 second.
Yeah, that's cool.
Hello. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sometimes I accidentally somehow I think the palm of my hands hits the mute button, like my mute speakers button. I was like, why is nobody saying anything?
So, despite what this looks like in the picture, we're going to say that each of these is a giant version of one of those flowers that you were told to look for. But they're in stone.
Okay.
And you detect magic, a little bit of magic coming from each one.
does it have a school
Okay.
of magic?
I don't think so. We're going to say for now, no.
And is there anything else around the room as I walk around?
That is all you notice.
And is there like still like an altar up here?
Mm-hmm. The rest of the room is
Hmm.
as portrayed.
I'm gonna see if there's any inscription on this.
Go ahead and make a
I'll do an investigation check
yeah.
as well.
I'd say investigation check.
This building is quite inviting.
Mm-hmm.
I
Kaino,
guess.
you're able to tell that there definitely was writing, but it's so old and faded that you can't make anything out on it. What languages do you speak, or can you read, by the way?
Common, Dwarven, and Gnomish.
Yeah, you definitely, for as far as you can tell, everything's been worn down over time. Some of it's cracked and chipped, but for the most part, it just looked like it's been worn almost smooth. It looked like it used to be not incised into it, but actually raised lettering, like braille almost.
Hmm.
Baron's like,
Does this?
uh, I'm looking for an inscription, but I don't see anything. It's too old.
Kind of, you're very clearly in front of a door.
Yeah. Kind of gonna try the door
It
just to see if it moves.
it like it shakes a little bit, but it doesn't open.
Hmm.
Is this a coffin or sarcophagus or something?
Um, it it ap- it appears to be like it could be.
Is
It
there anything written on it, or
There's just this figure on the front, on the top. It's of a woman. You go ahead and make an investigation check, actually.
Baron
Mm-mm.
tries out the acoustics and gives in here and gives Zelenor bardic inspiration for that role.
Cool. I'll allow that. Go ahead. Go for it.
So I
He's like,
tried.
I'm as good as Kaido now. So you can tell that all you can really tell is it's a female form, and it appears she's holding something, but you can't really tell what. It's again, it's weathered and largely
Mm.
missing.
And the only exit or the only doors out are north and the one we came in, right?
Yes, that's all there is.
I stroke the face on the thing and then walk away.
The gods go, stop that.
Kind of gonna touch one of the magic plants, plant statues.
Okay, you touch it.
See if there's anything that you can interact with.
It is stone. They're just large stone flowers.
I do detect some magic on the stones, but of what and what they might do eludes me.
And the door, did it budge?
Did not seem to budge. I could try to just force it open.
I could too, but I'd rather not. You said this place was dangerous. I'd rather not wake whatever it is in case it's sleeping.
Hmm.
I'm not.
And there's these like crenellations, whatever you want to call them,
Mm-hmm.
are all there with a shit ton of bones in them.
Yep. I was wondering if someone was gonna mention that.
Do the bones look like? Kind of is gonna investigate the bones, see if there's any like. Do they all have like cut marks on them? Does it look like? Is there anything like
So,
obvious of how they seem
most
to have died?
you see a lot of they look like they've been like shattered. Just like crushed. And you see, Go ahead and make that you can tell easily. Go ahead and make a investigation. Make a nature roll. So you can tell that it's a mix of both
Good rolls.
animal and different humanoid creatures. You can't tell specifically, but you get a feeling it's a mix of both.
Okay.
Hmm.
While he's doing that, Baron's gonna go over to maybe this guy, and look at the statue, because
Mhm.
this is not really Baron's. He's used to being on the streets, so he's just kind of weird out and kind of in awe of this situation. He's like,
Right.
"Oh, these are like the adventures of yore." So he's just checking out the statue and seeing if how intricate it is, if there's weapons on it.
It's kind of like everything else in here. You get the sense that at some point this was probably really impressive, but now the stone it's all been over time just smoothed away. So you get vague impressions of some kind of armored figure or something wielding
From the armor and what's left of it, can I
Mhm.
tell what kind of society this was? Elven, human, what race at
No,
least?
no, the facial features are you're looking
And the
at
armor style, maybe?
oblongs. Not even there. It's just kind of you can't you can't really pin it down. It just seems
Okay.
could be human, could be elf, dwarf. From the size of these creatures, you assume they're not one of the like elf or halfling or anything, just because they appear proportion wise they appear to be more of a medium-sized humanoid. But that's about it. You get medium humanoid.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. He's, I don't know. I really got.
Are these just pillars? These two things on either side?
Yeah, those are just pillars. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
They're about I'd say about 5 feet high. You imagine at some point there was probably something on them.
It's a trigger trap. You need 6 people. We have to come back once we have the whole party.
Yeah, that's it. How did you know?
Right? Everybody stand on the pendulum and then jump. I'm kind of. Baron's out of his element. He's just kind of
Oh, you were right, by the way, Chris,
mindlessly.
when you asked about it is a like that there's a lid to the sarcophagus that you're standing in front of.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it is. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
sorry,
Fucking get that bitch
I
open.
think I didn't make that clear.
Would you like me to open that for you, Zelenor?
Yes.
Is Zelenor actually like 8 feet tall? Or
No, I'm just.
No, I can fix that now that I look at him.
I was wondering about that. I'm like, Zelenor's massive.
There we go.
It's funny because I'm like, Kaino's, I guess not that tall, but
But you're like, this is ridiculous.
so yeah, Kaino will move the lid open. He still has detect magic on, so
That's cool. Strength check.
one second. Athletics or just strength?
You can do athletics.
It's a good thing I asked. Gotta get all those modifiers in there that I can.
You push on it, and you're just like, ah, and nothing.
I see that Kaino's kind of struggling, and I help him out with my
So we try again.
-1 athletic score. Oh yeah, 15.
So Varen pushes
Being
against
strong.
it, and you just as he about collapses, it shifts about a half an inch.
As it shifts,
Zelenor, get in here.
I stand back and I try to thorn with it, but
roll me a d4.
Fuck.
So it hits Kaino. It doesn't do any damage, but it wraps around his leg, and before you even realize it, Kaino gets ripped 10 feet closer to Zelenor.
God damn it, Zelenor.
yes. I could do that to the sarcophagus too. I just wanted to practice first.
Yes, of course. Well,
Farron's just like visibly struggling against this lid that moved like an inch because he thinks he can continue doing it.
All right, you hit it. You hit it with that 18.
And then I guess it like flies over Varen and whaps him in the
It
face.
shifts a half inch back, so it's back where it was.
God damn it!
alright, well, kind of just gonna put some elbow grease in this and start really.
So you guys, we're gonna. That was just fun. So you guys spent some.
Our biggest struggle against
Right.
our sarcophagus.
You spend some effort, and eventually you do manage to push it open. It falls off, and go ahead and we're gonna say all of you makes one athletics check with just everyone make one athletics check, and we're gonna see. It's gonna determine something. Damn, nice.
Farron's on it this time. He's like,
Yes.
he got a 20. That's a nat 20.
Yes. Oh, that's right. I did say I was going to mention that this session, and this is not to poo-poo you, Varen, but when for outside of combat, for things like athletics checks or
Oh, a
stuff
20
like
is
that-
not a natural win. I get
And-
it.
and a
if
1
you're
is
trying to
also-
swim up a waterfall,
right, but a 1 is also not a natural fail either.
right?
So
But,
it's
no, that's
yeah.
that's kind of how I do it too.
Yeah,
I don't
so-
I don't like when people are like, oh, you rolled a 1. Well, you just slipped on a banana, broke your nose, and now you take 15 points of damage. What? Like I was like walking.
Zelenor
Okay.
is more like thorn whipping, and then kind of like, I don't want to. It's hard. But between Kaino does really great.
Jesus,
and,
Kaino.
Varen really steps up. He puts his all into it, and you guys get it off, and you don't smash open. It doesn't smash open the lid when it slides off. It makes a hell of a racket, though.
I'm like the third guy that like pretends he's helping to move the couch.
Yes, you're that guy, and then you're like, man, that was tough. I'll go get the beers. So it slides off, and do you guys like look in, or do you just kind of push it off and then walk away?
I mean, we should be like right on top of it when we're pushing it out, so that we have really no choice, right?
So you guys,
We're leaned over the thing.
There's a thin layer of dust, probably about a 1/4 inch thick, covering the whole bottom layer, and within that you can see a kind of old, rusty key.
When was the last time someone was here? Can I just do a quick, like, passive perception or something, just to see if I can tell how much dust this time is on this thing?
Sure.
It's only a thin layer, right? And this
Yeah.
it seems to have been abandoned for ages, so.
Go for it.
Investigation.
Yeah, we'll do
perception?
that. That's we're gonna actually make that a nature check.
Nature. Okay.
Yeah, because you're trying to determine a natural over time kind of thing.
Fair enough. 16.
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So in this long time, I assume that it's not been one of the people that have dealt with Dredge, right? That dealt with this.
You would assume not, unless Dredge is like way older than any human has the right to be.
Okay, fair enough.
Kind of will grab
There-
the key while everyone's looking at
Varen will, like, as you're grabbing the key, be
has a
like,
key. Kaino has a metal key. It's a hefty key. It's a good hunk of iron you got there.
Varen's like, this is not what we came for.
No, but what we came for was supposed to be in here, right? Do I remember that there was there a keyhole in that door?
There is, yes.
Oh yeah. Well, he walks over to the door and is like,
Varen's like
coming.
that guy who's like, as people are continuing, he's just like, wait a minute, guys, something's up, but can't really do anything because he's a punk.
I just follow silently behind.
Well, Kaino's kind of just leading the way, and I kind of slink back over to Zelnor. I'm like, does this not seem peculiar to you? I'm sure Dredge had somebody run an errand like this since.
I'm sure it's fine. It's not like he would send us to feed the plants because they need to eat dead things.
Farron just goes pale.
That's probably exactly what he's doing.
So,
So, shall we?
Farron reluctantly just kind of is like, his blood goes cold. He's he's not liking that what Zelnor said.
I think that's a common occurrence when Zelnor speaks.
So, yeah, kind of will go up and use that key.
It's a key.
Unless
yeah.
if someone's really starts talking about why we shouldn't do this.
Going once.
Actually, I'll do a wisdom save to see if I can. No, I failed.
So
Nope.
kind of you.
He's just mumbling. He's pointing at bones and like.
I mean, does the key feel magic?
No, it's a hunk of metal.
Oh yeah, if something's gonna kill us, it's gonna be in the next room. Yeah, Kaino just look back and he says, if something's gonna kill us, it's not gonna be the key. It's gonna be whatever's in the room. So don't worry about it. And he puts the key in and turns it.
So as soon
Like-
as you turn it, it's like a movie when they open the bank vault, and so you start hearing kunk 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 for a good like 5 seconds, and then all of a
Kaino
sudden
will back up.
Then horns in the deep.
the door begins to rise. So the whole door rises up into the ceiling, and is now completely flush.
Is the key gone too?
No, the key drops to the ground when the door, as it gets up to the top, the key just drops.
Hmm.
And do you go closer to where the key drops? It's basically where the door is.
Well, Kaino's gonna peek his head around the corner, yeah, and examine with the torch to see what's down the hall and make sure nothing immediately is threatening him.
You notice that just inside here to the left of the door, there is a matching keyhole to the one you just used.
Oh, okay.
Can
Kaino
I do
will
a perception
go and
check?
pick up the key.
Yep, you pick up the key. And
Well-
when you look through, you see a descending stairwell that gets very dark very quickly.
I believe we are to head further down.
How far down do you think it is? He kind of
Kaino
pulls out a
sees,
copper.
Kaino sees to the
What do you take me
end
for, a
of,
dwarf?
end of his torch.
What do you take me for, a dwarf?
He flicks it copper down there.
You hear it bounce a little bit, and then it just stops bouncing.
How far down?
I mean, you'd say went maybe like 15 feet, 20 feet.
Into the darkness? Or...
Yeah, it's pitch black in there.
Kind of
It's
starts
not
marching
that far down.
forward.
Okay.
All right, so you guys go down, and it's a switchback stair, which is
Okay.
why your coin stopped.
Okay, gotcha.
Because it went down and it hit a small landing, and then it didn't go anywhere. So you guys go.
I pick up my copper.
Sure. So it's about 15 feet between each switchback, and you guys count 8 switchbacks.
There any doors on any of the landings?
Absolutely
From
nothing.
what we can see?
Nope.
Any torch brackets or anything that
Nope.
I mean
It's all pitch black. So, you get to another door, and in the last couple of switchbacks, you notice that there's that the floor was damp, and when you reach the door, by the time you reach the door, there's a thin stream of water flooding in under this door, the way you're headed.
Is it like the same kind of door that there was in this one?
Yeah, same door, and you notice a keyhole in it as well.
Kind of looks around and he's like, we might want to be careful.
Yes,
With,
this one
the-
probably opens while the other one closes ahead.
Dredge did mention water creatures.
Yep. What I'm
and
thinking is that, does
if
it look
the-
like there's like, I mean, there's water seeping through the door, right?
It's going. So in
Underneath
fact,
it.
let me move you.
It's just like a thin layer of water on the ground, right?
Yeah.
Well, he said that it was like a stream, so if it's like there's water pressure in that door, then that means that when we open it, there might be
Yeah.
water.
Here, I'm gonna move you guys. Let me.
Oh
copy
shit,
it.
he's putting us in the water temple.
I'm moving it all.
I'm a
We'll
storm
never get
sorcerer,
out of
but I
here.
do.
I hate. I always had.
cannot breathe
I'd be like,
underwater.
if I wouldn't do that to you guys because otherwise I'd have to be like, Chris, how do you guys get out of here? I'm just moving you
Like,
so I can copy you.
Do we have a blue tunic that makes us breathe underwater? Because that's the only way to get through the water.
Right. All right. All right. You guys should be able to see momentarily a little bit. There you go.
My
I'm still on the normal
ancestors
map.
lived in caves like this.
I'm still on the other map.
Oh, I didn't move you guys. I copied you but didn't move you. Ta-da! You should be. You're gonna
What
be.
do you use for your maps?
I just look up for stuff up in Google and then
Oh, good.
save it as a PNG. Google Images is your friend. So if you guys,
I broke down and bought a little thing on Steam, but it was only $15. You can
oh, that's not bad.
get as many maps as you want.
So you're all, the three of you are here, and there's another door.
I see a lot of black.
Yeah, that's
A lot of
intentional.
black. Oh, there you are. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to pan over. I didn't see.
Yeah. Okay.
There's just a lot of black, and I didn't even see us. Okay, there
You
we are.
guys all see where you're at.
I see now.
Mhm.
Yes.
Excellent. So there you go. Kaino, you have a key, and you see a keyhole. This one's not in the door. And we're gonna retcon. The last one wasn't in the door. It was right next to the fucking door in the wall, because then the door doesn't make sense for sliding doors. So it's right there. There's a keyhole just to the right of this wall.
Baron's like, I remember that differently.
Yeah.
Kind of shrugging and is about to put the key in. He's like, by the way, a lot of water might flow through after I do this.
I just walk up like.
Is there
5
any
steps.
Baron is going to do a quick perception check just to see if there's like any like old boxes, bits of rubble or something to stand on to get them out of the water a little bit,
Sure.
possibly. I don't know. I got a plan. It involves
Nope.
lightning.
You notice
Nope.
nothing.
I noticed nothing. Okay. Ignore that pain. I keep on doing that by accident.
So you turn
Kind
the
of
key.
shrugs and turns the key.
All right. So just like before, the door begins to rise, and as soon as it starts to lift, you can tell that this next room actually has a light in it. It's not very bright. It seems dim, but compared to what you were in before. So the door opens, and you guys can see. This is all you can see from where you're standing. Roughly. There you go.
It is the water temple. We're dead. We're gonna die. We should have waited for the others.
Are those flowers?
Yes. So these, and in this central thing here, you see the flowers sprouting right from it. Each of
Oh.
these pedestals here has 2, and you can just tell that there's a bunch here.
We should take more than we need so we can figure out what it does and try and sell out his secret.
Now remember this
I know
is dim light in here, so imagine it's a bit hard to see. For Kaino,
Where are the sources of light?
you can't tell yet.
And is there a path around this corner?
Oh,
Kind
yeah,
of
so
peer
when you
carefully around it.
you get
And
there.
also, I got the dark vision working, kind
Oh,
of
right.
tandem with him.
For you, it's more. For you guys, it's just more because you haven't walked forward yet. But as you walk
Oh,
by these 2 doors, see that
Water.
Two flooded rooms.
It's the motherfucking water temple.
Where you guys are is raised, and you can see the beginning of a step leading down into each of these rooms. So, which is why you assume they're flooded. They're lower ground. Okay, now that you guys have gone closer, we're gonna reveal it all. Kaino
Do I
doesn't.
see anything in the water, like swimming?
Nope. Kaino doesn't see anything beyond his torch. So we'll just say that for the sake of argument.
Are these floating, or do they seem to be?
These are just. They appear to be part of the floor. Again, you see these stairs leading down into the water, and you see across the way another door.
Kaino is going to use his shape water cantrip, and he just kind of like causes a small, like pretty insignificant, like churning of water in this area, just to see if anything reacts.
The water churns and splashes around a bit, and that's it.
Oh, was the water like very still? Is the water in all these like?
No, it's
Well, there's some.
There's a stream coming in, so there's a flow, right?
Yeah, so there's a flow. You also notice it. You can tell. Well, Kaino can't, but Zelenor and Varian can see it from here. Oh no, you can't. You have 60 feet dark vision, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So we can only see maybe the caps of those.
Yeah.
What about the side rooms water?
These rooms are dark. They're very dark. Other than the light you're shining in, and you can't. The water looks black in here. From the way it looks, from the way the water's flowing in, it looks. You're not even sure if it's the water flowing in that's in these side rooms.
Okay.
I'm gonna light. Baron is just gonna from right where he is, basically, just kind of look inside because he's seeing this probably in a shade of gray, right? Just to get some like color and a better look at this.
Sure.
Light a candle.
Okay.
Well,
And just
Kaino
kinda-
has a torch. So.
Oh yeah, Kaino does have a torch going.
Oh, well, yeah, he does. So, like, gestures to kind of, hey, can you hold your torch over this and just kind of
It just looks
use
really.
that
It looks
plus
it
my
just
dark
looks
vision and
brackish and just kind of gross, but it's just a bunch
Oily?
of water. No, not even oily. It just looks like it's been sitting a long time. And, over time you get bugs and
right,
mold and all kinds of.
right.
So it's just that.
Okay.
It's the water in these
Um,
rooms is fairly still. You don't see. There's no movement in here.
And there's probably a smell.
Yeah, it's a bit like musty. In here, the water isn't like crazy turbulent, but it's also not still from the flow from here, and you can hear trickling in other parts of the room, but you're not sure what's happening. But the water from here, like you can see it, especially agitated along when it first comes in, as it flows in and it hits these
And
pillars and.
Just
Is it
can
like
I tell that
me?
it's flowing from where we came in, or is
Yeah,
it flowing from somewhere else?
It's definitely flowing from where you're standing now. It's coming in the room, but you also hear
Okay.
running water in other
Elsewhere.
parts of the room.
All right. Well, Kaino, if no one,
And
are
these
you
like
doing
knee
pillars,
something?
high?
the pillars are about 2 feet off above the water. In terms of the pads, they go all the way to the ground, but you can't actually. Again, the water's not. This water isn't particularly dirty. It's just it's dark and it's deep enough where you can't see the bottom. It's not that bright in here.
Kaino's going to use the shape water cantrip again. Within a 5-foot cube, I can freeze the water.
Okay.
So I'm going to start making a water bridge and just start walking along the 5 feet. I can have 3 of them at a time, so
Okay.
I can basically make a 15-foot cubed water bridge.
I like
Or,
it.
well,
I like it.
by 3.
You can do dex checks.
So I'm
with
going to do it.
You can do acrobatics checks with advantage to walk across slippery ice.
What if I make the ice like have a bunch like not slippery? I can shape the ice however I want
that's-
beforehand,
Oh, okay.
so I could make it like
that.
have traction.
Okay, I'll say that. You make it kind of the surface of it. Is
Yeah,
kind
there's
of broken
grooves
up.
in it. Like it's yeah. Like as a bunch of people start walking across it, especially in a warm environment, I'm sure that it would get very slippery.
Right.
But
Okay.
I'm making it and then leaving it behind me. Like it's like when you see like
It's like-
Iceman would walk across it, like it would melt as I'm walking.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah. No check then. You can go straight across. Then I don't know if the others are allowed to use it or.
Well, I can do it 30 feet away. So
I
after
would
I
say
get
one
here, I
of
could
us
like.
probably, because
Yeah.
the last one would melt when he makes the next one. So maybe
Well,
one
I
of
could
us
like
could go
make
with him.
like I could just like leave one right here because I'm thinking
Oh,
three
gotcha.
effects, and one of those effects is probably to make
Right.
like to shape it how I want it, and then freeze it.
However you want to roll it. I don't know.
So I assume that I could probably get, like 10 feet at the most. So I can get everybody to like one of these.
Just yeah. So you two, so comfortably you can fit for the from mechanically wise. I know the spacing isn't exact. You can get two people on one of these stands without being in each other's square and still be on it.
Kind of looks at them and he says, "Do you want me to simply go and get them, and then come back?
Well,
Then we can be done with this."
from what I'll take a step out to probably where he is,
Mhm.
follow him on the bridge, just so I can get a little bit more of an advantage on whatever's,
Gotcha.
inside. Hold on,
Oops,
there's
that's not right.
where's my toolbar? So, like, what do I got? So, yeah, I can see what's over there, and I can see kind of what's along this wall. And I just want to see
So-
how many entrances there are to this, because if there's obviously this one across that we can
Mhm.
kind of see, but
Mhm.
seeing
What's-
just seeing where the water's flowing.
What is Zelenor doing? Is he just chilling?
Yeah, I'm just watching the water here.
Okay.
I guess I would
So
like to
kind of
splash it
is
with
going
my
to leave.
hands.
And he's going to start doing his ice bridge,
I like the ice bridge.
then move over here, and then he's gonna move up to. I'm not gonna bother moving the ice. Oh, there it goes. It goes with me now, even though it seems to get slowly further off. Either way, I'm gonna get
Well,
up to here.
Can I just follow him?
Yeah, you could have been following him, so we'll say.
Okay,
that.
yeah. All right. I want to stick with him.
So,
'cause Zelenor's-
Kaino gets to this portion of he makes his ice bridge and he reaches
Yeah, I'll make it
his
so that we can like. He'll get like this, and I'll go like that.
Cool. So as soon as you guys get there, everybody stop, and you start hearing from off in the distance through here, this way. You guys start hearing some chanting. Zelenor, what languages do you speak?
Sylvan, Elven, Common.
Okay, and Varen?
Elven, Dwarvish.
All right. So you guys have no idea what's being said. It does not sound pleasant.
If it's Orcish, I can understand like half of what they're saying.
It is not Orcish. So we, my friends, are gonna roll.
Which
initiative.
direction was it?
It's directly west of.
Okay.
Yeah.
On the other end.
Yeah, you hear chanting. You can't see it, kind of. Actually, no, you actually can. You can all see it. There is. Ignore this weird thing in here. That's just came with the map. There is a undeterminable light source in this room, but it is giving dim light to the whole room. So you guys can actually all see everything in here.
Okay.
It's coming from through these doors. Is the sound, and you also notice there's more water flowing in from here than there is from over here. So let me pull up. Oh, wrong button. Let me clear this. Oh, someone rolled initiative. That's my bad. Alright, so initiative is clear. If you roll better, Ryan, you can keep it.
You told me to.
Yeah. Sorry, Varen. He lucked out because I hadn't cleared the chart yet. Alright, so now before we actually get that, that's just to indicate where stuff's going down. So you hear this chanting, and there's some crackling in the air, and then all of a sudden, you guys see pop in.
Water kobolds.
Hmm?
Kobolds?
So you see, yes. Can you guys see the name, or just the
I
head
can.
close? You can. That's
They're
fine.
looking. Yeah.
Good. So you guys know what kobolds are. You're not amateurs. I mean, you are, but not so much. So you see these kobolds just pop, and they all turn at looking you at and chuckle, and then, oh, Varen, click your token, and then click initiative, because it looks
Oh,
like you
is
didn't
that what
get.
I did wrong?
And
Oh,
then
that's much better.
it is. It is. And so they chuckle and look at you, and then
Wait.
hold on, trust me,
Oh
and
no,
then
okay.
I changed your initiative for you.
Oh, okay.
So next, all of a sudden, these kobolds over here on up here, uh, you notice actually the three of you can make perception checks. Zelenor, you're going to be at disadvantage.
You said they were laughing.
They are laughing. They're looking at you and laughing.
Okay.
Damn. All right.
Perception.
All right. So, Varen, you don't notice anything. Zelenor, you're just too far to really make much out. But Kaino, you all of a sudden see this massive shadow kind of approaching, getting larger right over here.
I'm not seeing
And,
where you're pointing.
Yeah, I
sorry.
didn't see your arrow.
Do you see it now?
Nope.
Oh, you know why?
Arrow.
I'm in the GM overlay. Now do you see it?
Now we see
Mhm.
it.
All right. So right over here, you see this giant shadow forming, and for the rest of you, I mean, this totally catches you off guard. But all of a sudden, you see bursting through the water, and in a blink of an eye, these massive jaws clamp down on these two kobolds in the back here, and it crushes them. And Kaino, you go, I saw a bunch of crushed bones upstairs. And in one mighty bite, these two kobolds explode into bits of, well, tiny bits of kobold. And once I get the right thing, so these turn into giant bloody messes instantly. And then now these things are going to roll initiative. And we're going to do some kobolds. There we go. There we go. We got initiative for everyone. And when this happens, the once laughing kobolds, you actually notice the two closest to this thing piss themselves. They're no longer laughing, and they're no longer looking at you either. And that's how we're gonna start. So Zelenor, you're up.
All right.
Oops.
I am going to. Well, I saw that giant crocodile jump up.
Mm-hmm.
Can I assume that in the midst of all this happening, I jumped onto solid ground?
Nope. You two are both in your ice blocks.
Cool.
And I am going to attack it with an Eldritch Blast.
That's mean. And that hits.
Oh, wow.
Nice. Max damage.
What the hell?
That's a max damage Eldritch Bolt, right? For you? Nice.
Yeah.
Alright.
Very nice.
And I'm going to just step back a couple feet from this from this, so I'm not in Gator's reach and entering. Oh, I'll bonus act. Nah, fuck it. Intern.
All right. All right. So we got this kobold. This kobold turns and looks at this giant crocodile, and because that's what you have, folks. And it screeches something out, and it's going to fling a dagger at this thing. So let's see. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, I was right. Yeah, dagger. So he throws a dagger at it, and he misses. It bounces off its scaly hide, and oh wait, he has advantage. Yeah, all right. He does get advantage because he has pack tactics. So let me roll that again. And he actually hits this large creature for 3 damage. He's tough. He's a tough kobold.
So
And then he is going to get the fuck out of here because he says, "No way." He will swim to here. That's his turn. Kaino.
Kaino is going to cut one of the plants.
Cool. Make
And,
me a dexterity saving throw. Awesome. You will take half damage. So you take 1 damage. So when you cut it from the stalk, there's a vapor kind of leaked out of the bottom of the stalk from where you cut it. But you now
That vapor's awful.
But you now have one. Yeah, it's really the most, like, you can't, like, currently you just can't think of anything that's ever smelled that bad.
And that was my action.
That was your
So,
action. Yeah.
I am going to, I can't end my square in the same square as him. I guess I'm just going to end my turn.
Okay. The platform that the flowers are on, it's big enough where you could stand along the edges, if you don't want to be on your ice bridge.
I'm okay with being at my ice bridge.
Okay. And you said that's it for Kaino?
Yeah, that's the end of my turn.
All right. So this thing is having none of any of that. So, oh, he left his attack of opportunity range, so we're going to go ahead and take care of that from when he did that. Yeah, that kobold died. It died in the water. So
it just got flung.
it just, yeah,
Way out.
it gets
It turned
hit.
around
That's
to run
it.
away.
It just got flung right all the way, it just right into this wall here and smashes up against it. So this thing leaps
It's like
out.
a spitball.
Yep. This thing leaps out at this kobold right in front of it. And it misses. And, wow. So it's then going to whip its tail at this kobold, which it does hit. And that kobold also explodes against this wall. See, you guys were like, "Oh crap, we gotta fight some kobolds." But I'm a nice.
So it like auto grapples you, right?
It does. It can. Yeah, there's a saving throw. But these have all died instantly, so it's currently and it's the tail, the bites, the grapple.
I'm
The
looking
tail
at
is
that
prone.
damage. I'm looking at my health points. I'm like,
So then the crocodile will swim. It actually goes under the water. So everyone go ahead and make perception checks at disadvantage. Because seeing under the water is hard. All right. So Zelenor. Oh no. Oh yeah, Zelenor. Good job. All right. Zelenor manages to keep an eye on it.
Well, don't I too with that 19?
Nah, you gotta roll 20.
What?
20.
Okay.
He's stealth for. He's 20 stealth. So
Oh wow.
yeah. And Zelenor, you recognize it's under the water, but that's where it stays and ends its turn. So this kobold, let's see here. Yeah, this kobold is he's spinning around in place, doesn't know what to do, and so he wastes his turn standing there. That kobold is dead as shit. This kobold also spends his turn in a panic. This one's alive. Haha. This one, he remembers what he came for. So he's gonna turn. And he looks at Varen. And
Make eye contact with him.
right? He looks at you.
And I kind of give him a wave.
He wants to make sure this is personal. And at disadvantage, he is going to fling you see him pull out a sling. And whooah! The 15 hit Varen.
Yes, it does.
I don't know why it showed 4 plus 3. Oh, I see. Yeah, that's right. You take 7 damage. That the damage is off. Hold on. 1d4. I don't know why it's showing that plus 3. You took 4 damage.
Okay.
So
Like,
yeah.
oh, it hurt.
I was like, that seems awfully high.
I'm like, ouch.
Yeah, I'm like, these are 1/8. So that kobold is proud of itself. And that's his turn. So
It hits me
there.
right in the tooth, and I just like, mm,
I don't have dental coverage. Shit.
fuck. Am I bleeding? Am I bleeding? No, I'm not bleeding. That hurt.
You're up, Varen.
I will pull out my lute and give it a strum, and I will give what's next? I was gonna give that kobold bardic inspiration, but not anymore. That's just how it's gonna be. Yeah, no, I'm gonna give Kaino bardic inspiration,
Very nice. Very nice.
and actually I need to keep track of that.
Are you also staying on the ice bridge, or are you making your way to the platform?
I'm currently staying.
'Kay.
Because I don't know. I haven't thought about moving yet. And then I'm gonna actually just hit my thunder wave. Can I do that?
Okay. Are you in range? I think it's 60, right?
I want to double check it.
For
I'm gonna
what?
Throw it up there. Just double check it. For
Okay.
thunder wave.
Are you taking out the
Thunderwave is
kobolds?
out of you. It's 15 feet. It's
Oh.
a 15-foot cube coming out of you.
Oh, we're thinking of the
Okay.
other one, Shatter. Yeah.
Shatter. You're thinking of
Oh.
Shatter.
Okay, I'll do shatter.
Okay.
Yeah.
That one you can do. Okay, so I'm assuming that hits all the kobolds, is what you're aiming at, because you can't see the crocodile right now.
I'm gonna aim it for like right in front of those that kobold.
Cool, so they get to make
Pocket.
concentration saves. Constitution. Alright, so normal. Alright, so half damage otherwise. So this guy. He's good. This guy. Dead. Get rid of him. And this guy. All right. So you have 2 very unhappy kobolds. But they weathered your mighty attack. Anything else for Varen?
I do believe I am done for the turn.
Excellent.
I'm just going to do one of those, like, I see you, Kobold. I see you.
Zelenor.
Zelenor walks up to the stairs again, and he just looks at the alligator under the water and says, "You cannot hide from your elven masters." And I hex him
Okay.
with my bonus action, and then I will Eldritch Blast him.
That is a hit.
It wasn't disadvantage, but it would hit anyway. 6 damage plus the hex, which I don't have on the sheet, so I'll just roll a d6.
Cool. Nice. A 12 damage.
And I've hexed his dex.
Okay. Good to let me mark that. You hexed him. Okay. Anything else from Zelenor?
No, I walk back. I'm not going to be bit by that thing.
Zelenor's done the most damage to this thing, followed by a kobold. That kobold is dead. Kaido?
Kaido looks around like he doesn't necessarily want to fight this thing. He's gonna
You have bardic inspiration for whatever you want to try.
So I'm gonna throw this out there. After you cut that, you realize, so you have the option of, if you take your full turn, so action, bonus action, you can take one of those things without having to roll the save. You can just avoid the puff. If you spend an action, you have to make a dex save to get out of the way. And if you want to go extra fast, you can get two. You can get two for your action and one for your bonus action, but you make all 3 rolls at disadvantage for each flower you cut.
You mean 2 rolls?
No, but you can get 2 for your action and 1 for your bonus action if you're trying to speed cut these things.
Oh.
So
Can I just get 2 for my action?
yeah,
Anyways.
you could do that. Yeah, but you would get you'd be gained disadvantage on the roll.
You do have bardic inspiration to throw on that if you wanted it purposely for that reason.
Yeah, I just have no hit points.
Yeah.
I started this with
I
half
didn't
hit
know
points.
that. Okay,
I started
well,
this with half hit points.
Yeah.
If you
I'm sorry.
can technically get away with on the
I mean,
you want to
it's
do
alright.
that, I can heal you next turn.
We're not going to be
I
able
didn't
to
realize
get
you
these
were-
quick enough. Those kobolds are going to be dead next turn, so he's going to be run out. He's going to have nothing left to kill besides us.
I get that.
Those kobolds are the only thing keeping us
We
alive.
came all the way out here.
Heal the kobolds.
We gotta
Yeah,
kill this fucking
honestly,
alligator. This is gonna make
the
us
longer the
our
kobolds
job a
are
lot
alive-
easier if we kill this alligator.
Alright.
I was trying to shatter
Uh,
that alligator, but I couldn't because I couldn't see him.
Kaino is going to run into Varen's space and then
Okay.
jump. And as he's over this space, he's going to cast Shield of Faith on himself.
Okay.
And as a Storm Sorcerer, when I cast a spell, I can... Oh, well, wait a second. No, that's not going to work because I cast a bonus action. Never mind. Kaino's just going to stand right...
On the platform.
Let's think. Kaino will just run over here and jump and cast... Yeah, Shield of Faith.
Okay.
And then I have a bonus action where I can fly 10 feet as a bonus action when I cast a spell. Can I do that as an action?
Yeah, I'll do it. I like it. It sounds.
Because I'm
entertaining.
casting a bonus action spell, so
Yeah, that's fine. I'm
kind
gonna
of seems
say
lame
sure.
that I can only do it if it's a spell that's... So then I'm going to use my action to fly 10 feet, and I jump. I activate the shield that just starts hovering, like a lightning shield that hovers a few inches off my arm, my left arm, and then he flies over to this space. And
one of the kobolds claps.
looks like he's getting ready to fight. He's ready to. He's getting his halberd all ready.
So, uh, so coming from these kobolds have absolutely no idea this thing's here. So this thing bursts out of the water, and the first kobold it's going to attempt to eat, and it gets advantage since they didn't know it was there. Yeah. He eats it, and then while he's chomping down on the other one, he flicks the other one away. This one smashes over into this pillar and slides into the water.
Jesus Christ.
This one has disappeared into its maw hole. And then it sinks back into the water. And let's go ahead and do... you guys can do perception checks at disadvantage. Is stealth a dex thing?
Yeah.
So I get
Yeah.
disadvantage on that?
hmm
Alright.
Disadvantage. Fucking A.
Mhm.
Like, I'm killing the rolls, but you're killing me with this disadvantage.
Again, Zelenor sees it, but no one else does. It's going
Son
to
of a bitch.
He even has disadvantage.
I know. That's the best part.
I know.
It's gonna go.
That's what's killing me. Like, oh, I'll get it this time. I have really good. No, just kidding. Like this lore bard. Not sure about it anymore.
So it goes here. Alright, so
Can I take backsies on this level up?
the giant crocodile goes.
I'll buy a respec potion.
Kobold have all been turned into pink mist. Varen, it's your turn.
He's like, I don't see him.
Nope.
I know he went under the water though, right?
Yeah,
I saw him just take out those kobolds.
yeah. So
He
right
went under
over
the water, heading in my direction. Sort
yeah,
of,
he
right?
was. Yeah, he after he turned.
That's
this
enough to
way
make
and-
Varian just like want to get the fuck out.
That's legit. You should swim.
No, fuck that. He's gonna get over here onto this rim over here, and hopefully, he's like, all right. There's one or two things gonna get. You know, he's gonna give himself bardic inspiration.
Okay.
That's one thing that he's going to do. He's blah, 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 make himself feel better with the soothing sound of music. Now that he's calmed himself down by strumming his lute, he's going to. He doesn't see him, so I guess I got a cure healing word. Good old Kaino. So I'll cast it at level 2. Wait, can I do that? Let me double check. Before I do it, sure I can.
You should be able to, if you have a spell slot. Shazam!
Oh wow.
Here you go. 6 health.
That-
Shooby-dooby-doo.
Did you upcast
Oh.
it, or was it just the 6?
That is...
That's a good healing word.
No, that's just the 6.
Okay.
It's a D4 plus my charisma.
Okay. It
So
has
3
a
and
higher
3.
level cast, so I wasn't sure.
No, I didn't have the slot for it.
Gotcha.
So. Yep, that's 6.
Is that it for Varen?
That was what, action? Bonus action?
Yeah. You've used your action. You did bardic inspiration.
Yeah, and unless I can squeeze out a cutting of a herb thing, I don't think I can though.
No, not
Fair
this
enough.
not this turn.
Fair enough.
So-
I will. Yeah,
Go ahead.
I have to perform an action to.
Yeah.
To start dodge or something.
Mhm,
So,
mhm,
all right, that's all I got.
So, Zelenor, you're just before Zelenor gets a chance to unleash, you start hearing that chanting again. And this time you're not. Nothing appears. Nothing happens. But you heard some chanting and it stopped. And so now it is Zelenor's turn.
Was it Where was it chanting from? Just the
Same,
same.
same thing. Yeah, you could tell it was somewhere past those doors, but you couldn't tell where specifically.
Then I would continue. Oh, it's not disadvantaged. It's a 25
That hits.
for that, and 14 more damage.
Good God.
Do I figure out where the crocodile is?
Yeah, I'm gonna say that when Zelenor sets that off, that lets you know where it is. Um, what color is? I'm gonna say, regardless of the color, the Eldritch Blast has like its own little kind of sheds a little bit of light, right in its immediate vicinity.
It's some kind of projectile. Like
Yeah.
it's something that I could follow with my eye and see
Yeah.
where it landed and
Yeah.
be like, oh
Mhm.
shit, there's a.
Plus, you're right there, so you can see it. Anything else for Zelenor?
No.
Kaino. And I will answer your question. Yes, for you are close enough to strike.
Well, I have 10 feet range too.
Yeah, yeah. Even with it being underwater, it's still it's right there. It's very close.
All right, I'm gonna I guess I'll booming blade it.
All right.
Smack it with my mm, yeah, we'll booming blade it. Where's my? Oh yeah, this is a normal hybrid attack. Ooh,
Ooh, nice.
so the damage obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So 15. And my bonus action to cast. Not really. That's
Do you get booming blade damage?
no, if it moves.
Oh,
Once
okay.
once I get level 5.
Oh, okay, okay. Anything else?
And
kind of.
I will drop a healing. Actually, yeah, that's gonna be all.
Okay. So giant crocodile moves, so it takes how much damage?
3.
And what kind of damage is that? Thunder?
Thunderous. Yeah, thunder.
That's
Thunderous damage.
It's not electrical. Okay.
Nope.
No.
It is sound underneath water, which, if it's like a enthusiast being, might be a little bit more sensitive to that.
So this thing pops up, and beyond noticing that it's clearly it's definitely taken some wounds, you notice that it's kind of shaking its head, like it's something's wrong, but that does not mean it will not attack you.
Like with sentience,
Like
or just like fuck you.
Like is it like an animal like rearing its head, or is it like it's trying to communicate with me in some way?
like it's rearing its head, like
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
like a pissed off animal, like if a horse got
Like
a
you
bee
just-
in its ear.
Like if you
Yeah.
punched a shark in the nose or a crocodile in the nose, you'd be like, "Rrr, what the hell was that?" And shake its head and then kill you.
Exactly.
Okay, fair enough.
So it pops up, and as it leaps, it doesn't try to bite you. It actually swings its tail at you, because it want to knock you into water. And you read that right. It has disadvantage. Does an 11 hit?
No.
So it's gonna swing its tail at you again. So 21 hit.
21. I'm gonna cast shield.
Now you're glad you took it.
Yeah.
Because that would
So
have been.
The thunderous shield that's on his that he's like has like a buckler there. As
Mhm.
soon as it like swings out, it sees that it's like I can see that it's not enough, and then all of a sudden it just like blasts out and becomes like massive into like an entire like what you expect when you think of like a sci-fi style shield.
I like it. So its shield or you see its tail just like deflect off of this, and it roars at you, and then it's going to disappear. You all can make your disadvantage perception checks, and it gets its disadvantage stealth thanks to Chris. You bastard. Ugh. Zelenor and Kaino know right where it is. So it sinks down. And then
I see you have the blood sight as well, Kaino.
Let's see. Let's see. Yeah.
Well, I have no idea what you're talking about, Selenor.
Baron's starting to realize that he might not be as helpful as he thought he was in this situation.
And Varen, it's your turn. You do not know where it is.
It dipped off and it went kind of, I don't know, from what I could see,
it did the sinking log. It just went straight. It just kind of, without moving, it just went down, and when it got underneath, it swam. Although Kaino and Zelenor saw something. Zelenor so far hasn't informed anyone where it is other than by shooting at it. But
right.
the rest of you do have vocal cords.
And I'm just like, I don't know. Like,
Mhm.
that's like,
I mean, kind of would be following it with his eyes, and if he could like intonate where it was, he would be like.
You could totally
obviously
indicate. I like
yeah,
to assume that you're.
I'm gonna look
yeah.
over to my allies, considering they might just because I've lost it. So at this point, I'm freaking out. I'm like, okay, I'm looking at Kaino and Zelenor. I'm like, what's going on, guys?
You just see Zelenor like
and I just,
aiming right towards you.
Yeah, I see both their eyes kind of like looking right, sort of at me, but over to the left a little bit, and I kind of look over there. And can I get like an advantage perception check on it?
You can get.
Or can I see it now?
You can get another perception check.
Okay.
Just a regular one though. You see it. You just manage. It's disturbing the water just enough with its dex hexed. It's making a bit more motion than it normally would, so you can see it. So
I see the ripples in the water or something.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It's 10 feet down. So
it's too close. That's what it is.
It's close. Yeah, Kaino would be able to hit it if he was you, but he's not you, and you don't have reach.
I do have a hand crossbow.
You do. If you, I will tell you now. You'd know this. If you fire into the water, it'll be a disadvantage because the water would severely mess up the shot.
Hydrodynamics and arrows don't work together.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go with a thunder wave.
That you can do.
Right.
Yep.
Right in it, just centered on that mass.
All right. So let's see. He gets to make his con save. He fails.
So
he takes he takes 13 damage. So let's take care of the numbers right there. And then he gets pushed how far?
He gets pushed 10 feet, I think. And like as I do this, I'm just like I like jump up out of almost shock. It kind of elevates me, and like this whole big boom of water just because like I just disperse 10 feet of it as it gets pushed back from this air pocket as I get drenched in water.
I like it.
And I'll I know it's an amphibian, and I'm just right where it wants me to be. So that was my... Okay, I'll take my bonus action. I'll run over to this side, kind of a little further away from that alligator, and I'll go for one of the herbs.
Okay, so you're going to use your bonus action to try to get one? That would get you... If you use your bonus action, it's a rush, so it's a disadvantage on your save.
That's fine.
Okay. So
because I was I just did that. I'm like, I know I gotta keep on moving with this. If we're bugging out or we're taking this out, whatever happens, we gotta.
Cool.
Keep this
so
moving.
Go ahead. So you get one, and then make a disadvantage dex check, or dex save. Check. Excuse me.
Dex save. Saves. Wait. I just hit dex, right?
So you're only gonna take half damage. You take 1 damage.
Ouch. As I sneeze. I think I'm allergic to that. Put it in my bag and get up. And that's
Anything-
me.
Cool. Zelenor, you're up.
Zelenor goes, "Why did you push it closer to Zelenor?" And shoots it.
That hits.
I was pushing it further away from me. I don't.
11.
And then I move back towards the door.
Alright.
You got a door.
And
I'm sitting on this weird island thing.
and enter.
Alright.
How did I get in this situation? Baron's just kind of beside himself with just what's happening.
So first, it's gonna slap Kaino because you need down, buddy.
I get to go first.
He's gonna hit you with his
I go-
tail.
It's
I go
Kaino's
for the-
first.
It's kind of
I get to go first.
DM's like, no, I overrule your initiative.
Because he knows that I'm going to prepare to attack it.
Ugh,
Wait,
an
what's
11.
happening?
John.
What? Can you hear me?
Can you hear
Yes,
us?
but it's Ryan's turn
Oh,
First.
I'm an idiot.
for the crocodile.
Go ahead, Ryan.
I'm going to prepare to stab it if it gets near me.
Awesome.
That was what I was going to do anyways.
Yeah, it makes sense. So,
There's not much else I can do.
giant
So
crocodile.
it gets near me.
Yep, go
I
ahead.
cast Moving Blade on it.
You hit it.
It should be 18.
It still hits.
And it also does it continue moving? Because I hit it when it's at the 10 feet away. Unless it has reach.
It has reach.
Okay, so it doesn't have to continue moving after I Booming Blade it.
So it takes 12. And then it's gonna slap you.
Okay.
Where is it? Oh, its disadvantage has worn off for mechanical purposes. 19?
That hits.
Oh. So go ahead and make a DC strength save as well.
Still have Bardic Inspiration.
You're fine. You take 12 damage. He's like, I can do that.
And it takes... I'm going to use my Channel Divinity to maximize this damage, actually. So
Okay.
he's going to take 16 damage. As a
So
bolt of lightning arcs back to him when his tail hits me.
the bolt, you see it travel from his mouth all the way through his tail. His entire body goes rigid straight, and then he floats, and you have killed the giant crocodile.
He kind of winces from getting hit from it. He's like, "Ugh, nothing ever listens."
That's a big ass axe. So you're in this room.
Varen, seeing that it's down, he kind of wants to.
It's just
Yeah.
drifting in the currents and like bumping up against the thing, and
Right.
So are the
In
In
kobolds.
the back of his head, he takes a mental note. He's like, "That is a lot of leather," but he turns around and starts cutting up the rest of the herbs.
All right, so yeah, so if you're taking your time, you can we're out of combat. You can actually get them all without having to make excuse me, you get advantage on the saves. So
Kind of will go over. Can if I use my halberd, could I just cut them from far enough away that I don't have to breathe it in?
yeah, you guys could. Yeah, I'm gonna say you can take extra care.
Oh, I
and
thought
you
it was
can-
like a dex.
Oh,
you won't have to
save
make
for
the
like
saves.
something. That,
Like, 'cause I was thinking if I could just cut it far, like 10 feet away, then we're not like near it enough that we're even breathing it in. I also have the canvas. I, was thinking I could cover my mouth with it.
Oh, whatever. I don't care. It doesn't matter.
So yeah, so there are a total of on each of the two little floating, or you realize that they are floating, but they're tethered to the central platform. Each of these has 2 flowers. There are 12 of them on this platform, all of the same size as this one, and there's an extra large one. There's one it's about 3-4 times the size of any of the other bulbs you've seen, and it's in the center of this platform.
Kaino is going to be like, we should... He looks over at Zelenor. He says, Zelenor, we'll grab a few extra. I think we should leave the big one, though. 1, if they proves useful, we can come back and it might spawn more. And 2, that noxious gas. I don't even want to know how much is in that one.
Yes.
Varen kind of points up. He's like, do either of you know how to supplant these? Perhaps maybe we could get our own garden in a little bit of a. He kind of gestures to the hallway that was chanting a few moments ago. Less dangerous.
Well,
I don't think we
I
have enough
will admit
water
that
for it.
we'll admit that water is more of my forte than soil. If you can think you can figure out how to grow these, it's not a bad idea. But in the meantime, we should grab the. So what? There's a total of there was 12 on this and 2 on each, so 16.
Yeah, there's
We should
16,
grab the
16
16.
defaults and like regulars and one extra large.
So probably
I have,
I'd say 12
I have-
or 13. Have one for.
I had like
trying-
6 square yards of canvas that we could just wrap all of them in and just like make it one big sack.
You could totally do that.
It's like, yeah, and then kind of we'll make a bridge. So once we gather those, assuming that we can do it without too much trouble,
Yep, nothing
staying far back, chopping them with our long farming implement that I like to call a halberd, and
happened.
then
like, if you
slowly
use it
make
like
our way
this,
back
it's
and
a
kind of.
scythe.
Yeah, kind of be like, we should keep track of where this place is, though. I have a feeling there's going to be some pretty boring days on this island. Maybe we can find some more intrigue here
Yes.
I agree.
for
Enough.
another day.
Varen kind of hops into the water to see kind of.
Kind of does not.
Kind of does not.
Guys like
Varen hops
no.
into the water. He doesn't care. But he goes underneath and looks at what's underneath. Like if it's roots down into the water or if it's just everything's based on this platform. What's going on?
You swim down. What are you wearing armor?
No, I have leather.
No, you're fine. You swim down, and you realize it's about 40, 50 feet down to the bottom, and it does not look like this room always had water in it. You're able to determine that because we see floor mosaics, and that seems odd in a room filled with water. But other than that, the mosaics are faded. You can see colors. You see lots of you can't distinguish patterns, but you can tell that there's traces of red, greens, yellows, and black.
Okay.
Which, by the way, also matches. Those are the colors that you see predominantly on these flowers.
And are the flowers just based on the platforms, or do they actually have like some vine system that goes down to the floor?
No, they appear to be growing out of the the floating platforms had dirt in them.
Gotcha.
So
I was just curious if it was what was going on in the room and bottom. All right. And now that I have kind of like this floor perspective, what are the pillar like? What does this look like? Like a threshold room?
that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to you.
Altar of some sort?
Because these pillars are roughly 40, 50 feet tall. They don't reach the ceiling. And this room is, other than what you see, other than these bits and pieces of faded mosaic, it's an empty room. The platform that the flowers were on, the large one, is free floating, but it is not moving.
All right. So I'll swim back up to the surface and rejoin the group.
Mm-hmm.
There's many mysteries this chamber. This is ancient. I don't know exactly anything about what's going on here. We should
Perhaps there's some secrets of the island. I definitely would like to come back here at some point, but
with hopefully the rest of the group. Doesn't seem like we should delve too much deeper in.
I agree. I think we should complete our task
Yeah.
before we come across any more crocodiles.
Do you guys head back upstairs?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Back the way we came. Yeah.
Do we close the doors with the key?
Yeah, we'll close this door.
Okay. The one from the room you just came into.
Yeah, we'll actually, and then kind of we'll add like or he'll when we get to the top, assuming nothing ends up happening, he'll say should we leave the key or take it with us?
Baron has a newfound respect for this, and he's like, it seems wrong to remove it from the tomb, but we might have the monopoly too. It's up to, I don't know. I don't know. This could be sacred ground. I don't believe the guy.
Kaino's gonna go and put the key back in. I assume the sarcophagus is still open.
Yep, just like you guys left it.
Yeah, we don't really have any means to close it again, but he'll put the key back.
Okay. Everyone make me perception checks with advantage.
God damn it, Baron. Oh, that's not advantage. Well. There we go.
There we go.
That's the one.
Both Kaino and Varen, you realize all of a sudden that the flowers here, they have opened. So remember, each of these statues is one of the stone flowers, and before the petals were closed around it, and now they're open. You didn't hear anything. It's still stone, as far as you can tell from looking at it.
Did it open? Has it moved or anything since we came in, or were they just open when we entered?
You don't actually know. You can't. When you try to recall it, you just can't quite remember if they were.
Does it seem like there's like, are these the same size as the plants?
These are like the big one, that really big one.
Is there a gem or something in the stone? Like, is there
Does it
something?
look like I could put one of the plants in?
Do you go up and inspect them?
Yeah, kind of will go up.
Yeah.
As soon as you climb
Baron
up,
and
I want
We'll
to
be
do
there
one thing
too.
before I climb up. I would, looking at my spell, yeah, I'm gonna cast Healing Word on myself one more time before I do that. Just God forbid. As he's gonna mutter to himself and be like, "Seas protect me."
So when you get up there, you notice that in the center of each of these flowers is a small, shiny circular object.
is it shiny? Okay.
Yeah, it's about this. Think of it like a large marble.
Kaino is going to cast Gust. And he's gonna just push the object inside of whatever the farthest one away from him is and try and just push it out of it with a little gust of wind.
Okay. So it falls. So you push it to like have it fall on the ground, kind of thing.
Yeah, it has to be opposite of me. So basically, I just try and move it from where it is. I'm just kind of like
Do you want
kind
Baron
of doing it as like a.
That's fine.
Baron will
So
go on the other side and like want me to catch it?
He wouldn't tell you that he's gonna do that. So
yeah, so Varen, you'll still be over next to Kaino. So this thing goes, and let's see. Oh, that's nice. So luckily, it's 15 feet away from you guys. But there is a large boom, and then there is a bubble floating in the space where it landed. A large, translucent bubble, transparent bubble.
is it colorless?
It is colorless.
And so it's like just like right here.
Yep.
How large is it?
This one we're gonna say is. It's about this one is the size of you. Like you could fit into it, kind of.
Did it expand like the moment that it hit the ground, like the impact did it?
Yes.
Kaino's going to walk
Oh,
within
it actually takes up. It's a sphere that encloses 10 feet.
Okay, Kaino's gonna poke it with his halberd from 10 feet away.
It just rolls away. It's really light.
Is it solid or does it have does it give at all?
Nope, it's completely solid.
Kaino looks at his companions and is like, I don't know if I should try touching one of the other ones and see if there's some kind of object that we might be able to use to our advantage. He looks over at Zelenor and he says, that sounds like something that might be up your alley.
I believe they're meant to trap us and keep us inside.
That's kind of what I was worried
After about a minute goes by, the bubble just disappears. And there's nothing there remaining. There's still 3 beads, one in each of the other flowers.
Ben will take one of them. Just kind of dislodge it. Gingerly as he can.
You pick it up. It feels like a... It's just... Basically, it's a marble. It seems like a marble.
How many are
put
there?
It in there's 3 more? Or 2 more now that I have.
After the one you set off, there are 3 total. And Varen took 1. So there's 2 left.
Alright, so Kaino will carefully pick up one and look over at Zelenor and he's like, well, there's 3 of them. Would you like one?
You toss it to him.
I'll take one.
I mean, I figure at the very worst, if you throw it at something you don't like, there'll be a boulder on top of whatever you don't like.
I think it's got more meaning than that, but I don't know.
Well, I'm sure we'll discover it as we use it.
Yes.
Kind of you just see he just has a pouch and he just puts it in it, and you're not sure if he remembers what pouch.
It's in a pouch somewhere on his body.
It's in a pouch.
So
I'm gonna gigantic small gigantic tiny marble, tiny
right.
Gigantic marble.
Because I trust you all to be good RPers, mechanically it is that you each now have a bead of force. Aren't you glad you weren't within 10 feet?
I think that would have been fun.
Yeah, 5d4 force damage is no big deal.
Yeah, that's not bad. Everybody has healing. I think everybody has healing. Zelenor maybe not.
Alright, Kaino, so we're all gonna head back to
Town?
the town. We're gonna try and make a mental note of where this is. Kaino will kind of look up.
You can do that. It's not too much of a problem, especially with you have your landmark, especially from town, where roughly, and you just, you were lucky that you hit this particular spot so accurately. Who knew? But yeah, you're able to make some notations so that you can get back here if necessary.
DM Railroad. No, I'm just kidding.
Yo, the heck, man, why didn't you let this entire session be us lost in a forest?
I know.
Right.
I could
like last session.
Yeah.
Just 1,000 survival goals.
That whole day, it's like, yeah, you don't find anything.
There's
Nothing happens.
Bunch of trees.
You're back. It's like, oh, great.
You turn a corner, you think it's a building, it's just a rock.
Yeah.
Not even a big one.
I got a rock.
So you make it back to the city.
Kaino will, as they're going back to the city, he's like, these things might not be, cool with the guards.
Probably not. Once we get to the point where, we're probably,
he says he's just hauling a sack of 16 plants.
Yeah, remember, black bag job.
Right.
Maybe we should, stash these, or one of you guys should go in town and have him, tell Dredge that we got him, and then he can arrange to pick them up so we don't just have to carry them in.
Or we could split them up amongst ours. So that it's not
That's
just
still
you carrying a bag of them.
16 of them is still many
Put
to...
them all in a building and find
We're
an
gonna be like the
alligator.
kids going into a theater, like a movie theater,
Yep.
Just like
Hey.
absolutely stuffed with like just candy and
You
stuff
got-
on all of our clothes.
Zelenor's got thick robes.
I'm not convinced he's not just 2 halflings.
With a vampire fetish.
I think we should have somebody go in there and tell Dredge that we got them, and I'm sure that he would.
I mean, I can make it there a little quicker with my city crawler. I forget what exactly it's called, but
So, do you want to go alone, or you and Zelenor? And
City
I'll wait here
secrets?
and guard these, or
I can go alone. I don't have anything
All
you
right.
seem like a.
on me. I threw the one I had into the bag, so
Kind of does look Varen up and down. He says, "You are rather loquacious."
he shrugs. It's my curse. And Baron will kind of deviate off instead of taking the exact path. He'll try to just kind of take the woods
That's
around to the scared spirit.
So you give me a D100 roll.
D100. Okay. How would one go about doing that?
If you click on the dice thing on the left bar and then do the
Oh, there we go.
advanced
That's a
roll.
better way of doing it.
Yeah.
That's way better.
That's how I do it, anyways.
There we go. It's 12.
So just as you're emerging from the where's Varen? That's kind of
I'll be trying to emerge from like over here.
okay. So you go around. Okay. So as you emerge from the trees onto the road, you turn and look, and there's 2 guards just walking down the road. One comes up to you. Hey, what are you doing? Why are you in the Shouldn't you be out in the fields working or something like that? Fucking peasants.
Are they? Do I recognize them?
No,
From the, no.
no, you've never seen these guys.
Okay. Gentlemen, I was just taking a jaunt through the woods. Can't a man get some fresh air during the day? My work is later in the evening.
No, you one of them like boys that work. Oh. I bet Dredge got someone new. Yeah, I knew that half orc could. Yeah, I mean, really, who wants to sleep with a half orc? Yeah, right. And they just walk away, muttering to themselves, ignoring you. You hear, I mean, he's better looking than the half orc, but Jesus, like, all right, whatever. And it keeps walking. And so yeah, so you're able to get to the skewered spirit. And Dredge is in there.
Yeah.
So he says,
I'll just walk in the door and like look around. Is it busy right now? What time is it?
it's about 4 or 5 in the afternoon. So there's a couple people in there, but it's pretty quiet. But he sees you, and he says,
I just make eye contact with them and just
He says, "Oh yeah, you left that back. Yeah, let me get that for you." And he kind of motions you to the back of the inn there a little bit.
Okay, I'll follow him.
Go there. So you get in, and he just leads you. I mean, he just takes you back into like where they prep food and stuff like
Okay.
that. And he says, "Oh, looks like your friends didn't make it, but hey, you'd made it, right?"
No, everybody made it. It was quite the adventure. Where would you like to? How would you like to do this? I have my buddies waiting nearby. They didn't want to bring a whole sack of these things.
Wow,
Right in.
that's smart of you. It wouldn't have been good if you got caught right at the city by the guard. All right. So here's what I want you to do. Where'd you leave them? Like where are they now?
They're nearby,
Okay.
and
okay.
I deliberately just being.
But he gets that. So he says, "All right. So that last hut I had you go. That was that kind of marker to head north, right? Okay. So head back this way. There's no guards gonna be over there, so you're okay. Then you're gonna come across some more huts. The closest hut this way before you reach kind of some open ground. Go just into the tree line, and look for the tree that it's all curved over. It's like you can almost walk on it. It's like an arch. All right.
Okay.
Go to that tree. Go to the base of the tree.
Oh, that tree! I know that tree.
Oh, well, I'm gonna have to find a new tree. All right, go to that tree, and feel around, and you'll find a little trapdoor. You can place them in there.
I had no idea that was there. I just played loot on it once.
Well, now you know it's there.
Oh, okay. Well, cool. He'll give a generous bow. It's like, we will take care of it. And how would you like to take care of confirm delivery?
Well, I'll be getting those tonight, and I mean you're staying here, so as soon as I get them, if you guys are awake and around, I'll give you your gold then. Otherwise, you can have it first thing in the morning.
You are a man of honor.
Yeah.
I will,
yeah.
And I bow again, and I show myself out.
Cool. So you make your way back, no problems. So you get back to the group.
All right.
Do you want to taste one of these mushroom things, Kaino?
You're not talking about the plant we got, right? They didn't really look like mushrooms.
Oh, I don't know what they look like. I was really far away when you were cutting them.
Kind of like, what if they're poison?
Then we'll know we can use them on our enemies.
Oh, Kai, no, I don't think that's a good idea, Velenor. And he's like, Velenor, do I think you should either? And then he winks at you. And he's like, this is what an actualized man looks like. No, he doesn't.
And that's when Varen trumps out of the woods. Did I interrupt something?
Kaino offers you one of the plants, and he's like, you should try this, Varen. No, he doesn't. He doesn't do that. He's like, I think I was just deciding that I don't want to eat one of these. And he looks over at Zelenor to see if Zelenor is going to try one.
Well, they're all used for the special brew.
Right. Everybody knows you learn the alchemy substances by eating some.
How do you know if cyanide's bad?
It's like,
you gotta taste it first.
Yeah, this is good for cure poison.
Yeah. Belladonna, bad.
I'm just gonna take a small chunk, but not eat it. I'm just gonna put it in my pouch.
Okay. Go ahead and put you can.
Well, we're keeping 6 of them.
Oh, you are.
Oh
okay.
yeah.
Well, maybe Varen should have. It's too late now.
Well, Varen never told him how many he had. So as far as he's concerned, you only have. He told you he wanted 10.
I was to say we could have offered him more and been like, hey, we have 4 more if you're willing to pay, but we didn't. That's okay.
I'm sure he might have been okay with that, but I feel like these are on a shelf life thing. So
yeah, I was also.
I think we're gonna have to use these.
Well, we could try and get glass jars.
Sure.
We should dry them and then powder them and put them in people's drinks in the bar.
We should pickle them.
Kaino is like.
I always wanted to pickle something.
How about we find a plant nearby and squeeze out one of the leaves juices into it and see if the plant dies?
We have 6 of them
that.
to experiment with the next month.
Yep,
and
that's what I'm.
feel
That's
like
what I'm
we
thinking.
should. There's a couple avenues we can experiment with, like its effects on plants, animals, and we can also see if we can transplant them. Yeah.
We definitely would need a lot of water. I may have my way with water, but I cannot. Well,
there's wells.
I could get to hand.
There's always water if you dig down deep enough.
You've noticed too, while you're at the inn and stuff, just for if you are going water is not something that seems to be in short supply in this particular world. Even the poorest people seem to have free access to what appears to be, and seems for all intents and purposes, clean water. At least in this city, you haven't like your rooms. There's like communal sinks and stuff like that. We'll say they actually have some primitive plumbing to pipe water in.
All right. Well, let's kind of be like, all right. Well, let's get these 10 to where they're going. Let's take our 6, and maybe we should just keep somewhere outside of town that we keep them. I mean, we might risk them getting found, but Seems better than getting found on us.
This is true.
And then we can maybe conduct some experiments.
Yes.
I've always found that experimenting is better on live creatures instead of plants because, well, you can't use the scream scale on a plant.
Kind of like, I actually do think there's magic for that.
I think there's actually like
There's
Varen actually like is starting to buy into
That's what
Wait a
speak to
minute.
plants is for. You speak to plants so you can use the scream scale on them.
There you go.
This is God.
How much does
That's
this
actually
hurt?
possible.
How much does this hurt? Drip acid on the leaf.
Varen's starting to get like see where Zelenor is coming from, and in his own deranged ways, gets it. He's like, yeah,
It's valid. It's valid, right? Yeah.
it's valid. It's a valid point.
Okay, so your plan is to
Kind of
put...
like seems to like look past Zelenor, like literally look past whenever he says those things. He's like, oh man, there must be a reason
I'll
that I'm
just
with this
pretend
guy.
he's not speaking. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're gonna put your plan is to put 10 into Dredge's hidey hole, and then you're gonna take 6 with you. Are you taking them with you, or are you gonna hide them somewhere? Like before you get to the town. Like, are you hiding them
Maybe
in
we
the
should
forest?
hide. Maybe we should hide 5 somewhere and take 1 back with us. That way you can play with it, Zelenor. Sound good?
I have my little morsel here.
Yeah, you have 1 leaf. Okay.
Okay, so you're able to. I'm telling you now, you guys can do that. That is fine.
Yeah, we'll
So-
like find like a nice like really heavy copse.
Yeah, you
Something like
find.
that.
We're
Get
gonna
it,
say
hide them
that.
there.
Here, I'll mark it for you guys. You find a nice little spot right in this area here.
And a lot of them kind of just gonna like place down, but one of them he's gonna like find like a place that's a little more lush in like the ground around it, and he's gonna kind of like dig it into the ground. And the intention is that he can see if the ground around it seems to
Are
start
you-
dying.
Are
or
you
anything like that,
squeezing
or-
it out, or are you just kind of burying it?
No,
in
he's
there?
just gonna
Maybe
kind of put
seed
it
it?
down, like even maybe upright, like see if like
Okay.
it would continue to take, like if it might take root.
Okay. So one you kind of semi-plant-ish, and the
Mhm.
others you guys
And then the
can
others
bury.
he just kind of keeps, yeah.
Okay.
Unless if I don't supposed to do anything with him, I mean he's not like.
And you keep them wrapped in that sack, right?
Yeah, we'll say that we do.
Okay. Cool.
Unless if we want to try and dry one, or a few.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a big deal.
So, okay,
Edward,
so
you
you
should be
have
happy.
1 planted, four buried and protected in the sackcloth, and Zelenor has a little bit just for himself. 10 thing, cool. So you guys get back to the inn. Dredge, doesn't act any differently than normal. Let me move you all here. So you're all back at the inn. Without
Well-
ask. What's that?
I was gonna say while we were on our way back to the inn, I was gonna
Oh.
have a conversation with the fellows while
Totally.
that I don't want overheard.
Yes,
basically.
you can totally do that. I will mute myself now.
Yeah, sorry. Friends, this experimentation is a good side project, but what about long term? How do we
Long term,
get
what?
long term goals here? What is our? I understand we have a place to live for the next month, but what about the month after that and beyond? What can we do to change not only our situation, but maybe even the entire island situation?
Well, to be honest, I kind of was looking for this island in the first place. I think my brother might have been lost at sea here, but I think I've seen that was a foolish dream of mine. I think we have to wait and see what our purpose is here, but I think that we do have one. For now, I think we need to try and get in the city and learn a little bit more about this place.
I agree. I think allies would be a good place to start. And Dredge,
wouldn't-
I do believe, is a good step in the right direction.
I don't,
I haven't seen many elves around, so that makes me The head elf.
We'll take these two, Jesus.
Head elf.
Is that how you're... I mean, I've met a lot of elves before. I've never heard of a head elf before.
Varen kind of cocks his head as a wood elf.
I'm surprised Kaino goes into the same room as Zelenor, to be perfectly honest. That seems the most
Kaino's a very
dubious.
accepting person.
Yeah, he is. And trusting.
We're just all gonna bunk together.
I'm the DM and I'm scared of Zelenor.
Kaino would say, like, I know we're gonna need plenty of help on this island, but I would... At least I'm going to try and keep my trust to those who I know came here with me. We don't know what this island does to people. We don't know how people become when they get trapped in here for as long as many have.
I understand. There's the air here, though, is just stifling. It's the nobles seem to have a oppressive foothold over all those who don't have. And he kind of struggles to find a word, but
Kaino nods understandingly and he says, they seem to control a great deal of power for people stuck. And he says that word, like, you notice he sticks on it for a second, no pun intended, and is, like, stuck on an island such as this.
Yes, I secretly, in my dreams, I kind of want to just overthrow them all. He kind of laughs. And you actually, if you ever were listening to some of the songs he sings at night, it kind of syncs up.
He's very down with the tyranny.
Down with the establishment.
Kaino says, it's possible that's why I'm here. I feel that at least I do have a purpose here. I don't know if it's just to try and help you people get off this island, or maybe there is something more that we can do.
I, for one, want to change this place for what I hope is the better.
I think the best thing you could do for this place is to make it so that these people could leave.
True.
Is this gonna be your very like I assume this is your anti-establishment type music?
What? Is it like Black
Okay.
Flag? Or is it?
Boy
Voice
Sets
of-
Fire.
Yeah, that's exactly it. There you go.
So-
That's me on the lute. Dun, 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 dun.
So that we have this done for next session, you guys do indeed get your 15 gold each. Each of you is given a key to the room you are in and this room. Or he gives you a key, sorry, 2 keys for each room. However you split that up is up to you guys.
Okay.
And he says to you, I don't have the other keys, so these are yours for the next 30 days. So I don't care what you do in there, what you're keeping them. It's not my business. Do what you want. He's like, but don't like tear up the place or anything. And he's like, there's a kind of private dining area there for you guys if you want to use it. Anyone else who's staying back here though, they get to use it too. So
Sometimes if you wake up in the middle of the night, you just see Zelenor sitting up in the bed and his eyes are just wide open.
Well, I meditate too, so
no, but Zelenor
there's going to be
legit-
quite a bit of a.
Zelenor
Zelenor
legit
doesn't
never
sleep.
sleeps ever at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a warlock invocation.
Oh, I was gonna say, just during downtime, Varen's gonna try to like pick Zelenor's brain because he's like kind of fascinated with this whole patron thing and like his, I don't know, he's afraid and fascinated all at the same time, and he wants to know more. He's just intrigued. He wants to learn. So he's gonna ask him random questions about like, so patron and whatnot. Meta knowledge kind of gaming. I kind of want to cross class into Warlock. And
That's
you
cool.
Have the Sage Patron, so
I'm
trying to
I'm totally down with multi-classing. If you have as long as you have a character concept and it's not straight mechanics, and you can justify it, it doesn't have to make any goddamn sense to me because
Well, no, it like like I wanted it, and then like Zelenor is actually kind of already doing what I'm cross-classing into. So if
Oh, nice. Okay.
they start to get a little more acquainted, maybe
I like it. I like it. Yeah. No, that's
level
totally
5
cool.
comes around, he'll teach him
Mhm.
something.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
There are many faith spirits willing to lend aid to those.
The Fae never interested me though.
So I'm Ryan. You get inspiration because you were the one who first said not to cut the big flower, and so you get inspiration for that. For not being a greedy bastard.
Do we get multiple? Because I already had inspiration.
Yeah,
I
you
forgot.
can. They'll stack. I don't mind stacking inspirations. I'm gonna set the cap to 3. I do like that Venter does. So I'm gonna steal that from him.
That sounds fair.
But they're just default.
I forgot that I had it.
Yeah, they're just default inspirations. So
We all have inspiration, actually.
everyone should have one.
Yeah, we started with one, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, that was kind of the. You're all at the beginning of the campaign, essentially. So
I wasn't at the beginning of the campaign, so I didn't get.
You're close enough, so you also do have inspiration, which your sheet.
Okay, cool.
You can turn it on your sheet, but you can
I
hold,
just did actually. I was like, yeah,
right.
inspiration.
You can hold up to 3. Up to 3,
Cool.
I'm allowing. So.
All right. How
Welcome
do we
to
do
your doom inspiration.
There's a way to do
Chris
arrest,
gets
right?
inspiration if he doesn't kill me. Yeah, we'll say that you guys can go through the rest of the day, relaxing, chit chatting.
I'll play my set downstairs.
Okay.
And if you want, I can do a performance check.
Yeah, let's
how
do
good
that. Let's
you-
do that. Let's get a performance check.
Okay.
See how you do. Ooh.
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 They want their money back from yesterday.
Damn. Yeah. Dredge is like, yeah, okay, you gotta take a couple nights off, buddy. Like, Jesus Christ. And people are like, who's that? And he's like, ah, don't worry about it. It's complicated. So you've been told you can't play for the next 2 nights. So
You
you're
use
out.
your inspiration to re-roll that.
You could actually.
Actually,
do
no.
that. You could
I'm
totally
going.
do
I
that.
have bardic inspiration.
That only lasts 10 minutes. You can't actually
Yeah.
use bardic inspiration on yourself either.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
I wasn't sure if I couldn't remember if that's what you said you did, but you actually can't use it on yourself.
Oh,
and it is
You'd have
only
to be
10
really
minutes.
narcissistic. I think that should be like a narcissistic trait of a bard where you can actually impress yourself. You're like, wow, I'm really good.
Yeah, I might allow it. If you were like modeling your character after like Bret Michaels, I'd totally.
You're Gaston
No,
or
he's not
something.
that
You
guy.
just like you
Yeah.
like pull up a mirror and
He's
you're
not.
like,
He's
holy
he's
shit.
despite the fact that he likes talking and
Right.
he is a
You're
bit
like-
charismatic.
like,
if I'm
he's
like,
not an asshole.
You're like, instead of a musical instrument, I want to carry around a mirror that I
I'm g-
sing into.
I'm gonna guss it up more, but that would be like Kaino becoming if he was a bard now.
I'm going
I
to use
know.
that
Gonna
inspiration.
become
Go for it.
Yes.
So you get to re-roll that. If you roll that in that
Sorry.
one, it'll be
Nat one.
classic.
They only kick you out for 3 days.
It's you only you
It's
can
not
only,
so bad.
It's only one night. He says, okay, you have
Okay.
to take one night off.
I missed.
Wow.
I missed a couple key chords in there.
He
I
was
didn't.
holding.
I just wasn't feeling it. It was an odd night. It was
He
a
was
long
trying to
day.
improv.
What's your instrument of choice again?
It's a lute, but
So
I
he-
am.
You didn't realize that the first half of the night you were actually holding it upside down.
It was out of tune.
Yeah.
It was
The
out
first,
of tune.
he spent most of the
I
night
had
playing.
I still had water in my ears from like the swimming.
He's like,
and,
I wanna...
couldn't hear it really until like halfway through, and then I realized I was just completely out of tune for half the night.
And you did poison covers all night.
Kaino is going to spend. I guess I can wait until tomorrow.
Well, what did you want to do?
He's just gonna buy everybody nice food.
Okay.
He was gonna
Wait.
buy like a 2 gold feast.
Oh shit. So yeah. Okay. Yeah. We can do that. We can
We
do
can do that
that
tomorrow, though.
in the morning. You kind of do that. You could do like a breakfast feast.
That's the best kind of feast.
Right?
Yeah.
So
You can have the best breakfast feast
So,
when you break your
is
fast.
tomorrow our arena day or is it another day after?
You have one more day. So you have one more
Okay.
null day. Yeah. Do you want to? If you want, were you planning on going to go check your flowers? Because you were talking
Sure.
about that.
Yeah, I mean,
Probably.
if we don't really have
Well-
too much, I mean, we probably don't have too much to do the next day unless
Yeah.
we just want to look around.
I,
and,
I
like,
assume we'll probably just have downtime.
Yeah, so here's what I'm
Nonetheless.
thinking real quick. If my wife doesn't come busting in here, we might be able to essentially do a really quick fast forward of the day so that on the next session you guys are at your fight day, if you want. Or
Well,
you-
let's see
I
what
just
the
feel
other
like
guys
the other
want to
people,
do.
the other guys might want
Yeah.
to do something.
Oh, they
during
might
the
want.
day.
Yeah, that's
Right.
true. That's true.
They'll have some downtime. We can go back to the dungeon or something. I don't know.
Right. Oh, that's
Since
right.
we
There's
got a
options.
day,
Yeah,
I
that's
think that if
fair.
we want to go back to that dungeon, we should go some other time. I don't think
Yeah, no,
Kaino would
absolutely.
be in character. I don't think Kaino would be too enthused to just jump back there. He kind of got his ass kicked by
You
that
you would
crocodile.
recognize all of you, but especially Zelenor being like a spellcaster, like
Excuse me.
you know what I mean. Like you're more of the like hitty. Like I'm talking more arcane type spell.
Like we're all spellcasters.
Yeah, now that I think about it. But so you would all recognize that
This was an all spellcaster adventure.
maybe kobolds aren't particularly strong, but you also recognize that someone teleported 7 kobolds like instantaneously into a room with you.
I wasn't sure if you were just kind of glossing over that or if they did
Yeah.
just appear.
I wasn't sure if that was just
I
lack
wasn't
of
sure if they like
description.
ran and jumped, appeared all at once, or like they literally appeared.
They
all at
literally
Yeah.
just appeared.
once.
Oh,
Okay.
gotcha.
Yeah, so that was straight.
Did we all hear that chanting too,
You
or was that
all
just
heard
that?
it? No, you all
Okay.
heard that.
Yeah, so I mean, Kaino definitely wants to investigate more. Kaino's more interested in that shit than he is in like
No,
the
that's-
town. And you guys probably would have picked up on that. Like he was more interested in that. Like he was like, let's go back there and investigate more, even though he doesn't seem to care too much about what
Yeah.
we've met so far from the town, because it's kind of like that's scratching the surface. This is a chance to get really in deep of a history of this place.
We
Yeah.
could learn some very interesting rituals from them.
Yeah. You want that kobold teleport spell, don't you?
And that was the first time Varen's ever been in like an ancient ruin or anything. He's been like in the catacombs and like sewers and stuff, but
Right.
not anything like that. So he's like piqued interest now. They killed the alligator. He's feeling okay.
Kaino definitely felt more at ease. He looked more at ease once we were in the room with all the water.
You're like, okay,
like,
good. At
oh,
least
this is-
at least the suspense is over. Something's happening.
I do wish that storm sorcerers got a swim speed or some like breathing underwater eventually. I don't believe they do.
They don't. They should eventually.
They get flying, don't they?
They do eventually get flying. Yeah, because it's a storm sorcerer. It's really they're storm. They're not sea. Like
Yeah.
Hey,
The
if you
more
wanted to,
sky and wind.
if you wanted to
they get the best flying. Actually, they get the best flying of any class
If
because
you
they
want-
can make other people fly.
if you hypothetically wanted, I would let you maybe turn that eventual thing into sea if you wanted to, so because I know that's more your angle. If you
No, that's okay.
hypothetically. But
I'm
It's not
okay
as
with
applicable
this thing.
for
Like,
this kind of campaign.
yeah.
well,
If
I
we were
don't-
doing like a nautical campaign or like a pirate
I mean,
campaign,
we're on an island.
Yeah.
They are, but
I
we're
mean,
pretty
Kaino
landlocked
is
where we are
Kaino
right
is
now.
as water-based a character as you can basically make. He's a tempest cleric, storm sorcerer.
Yeah. So, but it should be good. Trying to think if there's
But I don't
anything
mind.
else. Yeah, I was
It's-
glad that
it would
I was
just be
glad
so
the
cool to do
crocodile
this.
didn't crush any of you to death.
I was kind of worried about that. I was like, man, I have 16 HP right now.
I did not anticipate it burning through those kobolds as quickly as it did.
I'm not gonna lie. When I saw you shatter the kobolds, I was like, I don't know if that's helping.
I was like, shatter. He's like, you can't hit the alligator. I'm like, crap. Okay, shatter's already out. Well,
It was.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, this could be really bad for them.
Like, I don't mind. Like in this campaign, especially, like if Kaino dies,
Yeah,
it's okay.
right.
This would be a fun one to bring in more people, cause like,
To be fair, I was anticipating 5 of you. I thought Trevor was going to be gone. I didn't know Josh and Asa would be gone until like basically it happened. So I was like, okay, I have to. So I didn't have anything of like literally none of this was planned for tonight. This was all supposed to be.
it was
something
fun.
different.
I
Yeah.
enjoyed that.
no, it fleshed out the world a little
Yeah.
better.
I
We have
also
like,
I've taken to the when you're doing narrative, you can bend/break rules. Like I don't think there's actually a spell that teleports 7 kobolds into a room like that. But
Yeah.
it works narratively, and then it facilitates the game. So I'm like, I can
No,
live
I
with
mean,
that. Just I don't do shit like that in
narrative-
combat.
yeah, it's
You could like
Mechanics
mass
are there
mate them or
for
something.
guidelines and to make things solid. But
I mean,
when
that's
you
what
need
like
something to
rituals are
happen-
for. That's what I imagine like a long like ritual
Yeah.
that
Right.
something would do, or like
Hooga shaka, hooga hooga.
Mhm.
I can't
Yeah.
fight this feeling. Yeah, some chanting and shit.
Definitely.
Some Blue Swede playing over the radio. Some magic apples.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, it sucked I had to cancel 2 weeks back to back, but goddamn, I was sick.
that's alright. It happens.
It happens. But it was fun playing.
This island now feels like, especially after this session, like it was kind of giving me. I feel like this is like Lost plus like 1984. Like with these, especially like. I don't know
I
if you
like it.
intended for this, but I think it would be very cool if we started like discovering like little things about the history of this island. Like that's what Kaino is like. Oh, it'd be interesting because this building is so old.
Right.
It seems like
Right.
it's older than everything else around here. And maybe there's like some like there was a civilization beforehand. Like I don't know. It would be really that would be really interesting.
Baron wants to start a peasant revolt.
I see that. See, that's what I was thinking. When I saw this, I was like, man, it's too bad Rufus isn't here.
Right. I could totally tell.
Rufus. I was thinking that. I was like, man, Rufus would get so along with this guy. My character that I played in like the beta version of this.
Varen's gonna totally turn into Che. We're just.
Yeah.
Oh
That
god.
is.
Uh,
I want to become level 5. I want to just dip into Hexblade.
Go.
So,
You can become a guerrilla fighter, taking on the man.
Yeah, and just
That's
like
what Rufus. Like I played
spreading
Shadow.
dissent through the music and getting peasants to kind of just
Who is Rufus?
slowly corrupt them.
The Shadow Monk with a ridiculous amount of HP.
Oh, that was in the
Didn't
alternate
really
one.
act like a monk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shadow
He would
monks.
get along so well. Yeah, he was a shadow monk who was just like he was like a child. A child who did not like ever have any social interaction. So he was like weird and overly friendly and very naive. And incredible in combat. I rolled his for HP
It was ridiculous.
for his first 3 levels, and I rolled max each time. So he had like 33 HP at level 3 as a monk.
Jesus.
And I had 18 charisma or 18
AC,
dex and
18 dex, and did you have a 16?
and wisdom. I had 18 wisdom.
18. God damn.
Rufus was here to fuck shit up, and and I had mobile. I was human, so I had mobile. So I was just like it was so funny. I was just using or a short sword and a dagger, because like.
It's just
I
massive
don't know. I think it's
damage.
really fun that you just like don't have to use like your fist. You can just like be a monk and just use daggers if you
Yeah.
want. Like,
Oh yeah, no, I did a shadow monk, for a Curse of Strahd for a little bit before it ended up falling out and people stopped playing or whatever. But he was like, it was a wood elf, so you had the extra mobility,
Mhm.
yeah, that was what I was
Um,
debating. What else was hard to say no to?
and then like I forget what I did. I just remember one time there was like a bat up a clock tower, and I rolled everything right, and I had moved like 120 feet, and then like 40 of it was straight up.
When it comes to
Mhm.
straight movement, though, like getting away from things, I think, I think was it Remy?
Pike.
Pike. Oh, I had this character Pike, and like no joke, I had to eventually. I just did it because it's what I had to do for him. Like it's how he was.
Well, that was just rogue, wasn't it? Just 90 feet a turn, or did you
Yeah.
also have mobile?
I also had mobile.
Oh,
So
okay.
I was-
yeah, so
I
it
was, like-
120 a turn.
Yeah, like our DM, like at one point when I started like booking it, he's like, "Man, you're like running as fast. You're like keeping pace with a horse." He's like, "Hold on." So he like did some stuff, and eventually he came back. He's like, "Yeah, I guess it's possible." He's like, all right," because it was just ridiculous. And I'd always go to the edges of maps and just fucking like, just fire a bow. Be like, "I'm gonna use this long bow." Funk. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was fun. That was a lot of movement.
Rufus eventually had-
Chris was big into high movement. Anyways, I gotta get going. I'll see you guys. I'll post, definitely plan for 2 weeks, but hopefully I'll see if I can maybe, if you guys are able to and everyone else is able to, maybe do one this coming Monday so that there's a
Makeup game.
yeah, kind of makeup. So we'll see.
Okay.
I'll see if I can swing
Yeah.
that. But
Alright, sounds
other than
good.
that, I'll catch you guys later, and yeah, good session.
Yeah, that was fun.
Oh, yeah.
Thank
Catch
you.
you guys.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
running.
Yeah.